There we go. I had to hit the go live. Lol.
You use OBS or Streamlabs?
OBS. I should get Streamlabs though.
Yeah.
It's nice that it
See.
can do all in one, pretty much.
Yeah, it's good.
Two for the price of one.
I've used Streamlabs for I think 2 years. It's not that long, but almost that. It's a good system.
Oh wait, hold on.
Okay, now it says you're live. Okay.
There we go. Classic Magmarin stream intro. Why can I not?
All right then.
Wait.
I just saw your stupid ass face transparent over the screen of the video.
It's my shield of justice. It protects me from copyright claims.
I thought you meant that the video was edited to where the clips are constantly cutting.
I probably could have done that, but I thought I'd take the safe route and just add a little banner over it in transparency. So
yeah, I'm releasing a black. I'm gonna want to release a Black Phone video later this month. He's definitely my favorite interest in modern slashers, so that's kind of what the strategy I'm gonna be using in terms of the background footage.
Alrighty. Oh yeah, there's a new movie coming out. I forgot about that.
I just watched Black Phone 2 last night with my brother. Just as good as the original, in my opinion, and the Grabber he's such a cool villain. He's awesome.
I haven't seen the first one, so I have to see that one first before I see the sequel.
All right.
But speaking of movies, hello everybody. Welcome to the stream. Of course, we had a classic Magmaren mess up of the intro. Couldn't start the stream because despite being young, I have the mind of a 45-year-old boomer. But we're here, and I've got a guest with me. We have Mr. Sir Yaluzel. Say hello there, Sir Yaluzel.
Well, no, comedian. I don't know.
Ignore him. He's German. Anyways.
I'm 50% American, 50% British, mind you. How dare you soon?
40% Guatemalan, 40%. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, so we're here, with the spooky month. I wanted to do this a lot sooner, but it ended up taking longer to complete the last Twisted Freddy episode than I anticipated. But we're doing it now anyways, where we will just be talking about a horror movie for the horror season. And I figured what better movie to talk about than the movie named after the holiday. Halloween takes place on Halloween. You watch it around the Halloween season. I feel like it's appropriate, but maybe that's just me.
No, it's really good. It's definitely not a movie that I'd come back to every year for Halloween because there's so many Halloween films. But if I were to pick a top 10 of must watch within a lifetime, the original Halloween would be pretty good. And if you enjoy the original Halloween, to anyone in chat who hasn't seen them, I would recommend the Halloween Ends trilogy. I've seen those films with my brother, and they were a great continuation to the story. But I know there's multiple continuities, so if you don't like that trilogy, there's others to pick from.
There's oh god, how many are Jesus. The FNAF the Halloween timeline makes the FNAF timeline look like it was laid out by Shakespeare or something, man. It's just there's so many different continuities and different directions each trilogy. Well, actually, yeah, they're all pretty much trilogies. There's 3 different trilogies. So we've got technically Halloween 1, 2, and 3, even though Halloween 3 isn't necessarily like Halloween 1 and 2. But then there's 4, 5, and 6, which are connected to 1 and 2, actually. Actually, they're not all trilogies when I think about it. But there's 3 timelines. See, this is how complicated it is. I thought there were 3 trilogies.
And just wait until the next Michael Myers movie comes out. It's gonna happen.
Well, they're actually going to be making a TV show, apparently. That's what I've heard.
Ooh, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
like I'm sure this
Friday the 13th TV show.
Yeah, I'm sure this movie isn't going to be your last. Bloodhouse is going to milk you dry.
Well, they've lost the license to the Halloween movies. It didn't get renewed after Halloween ends, and so it went back
Oh,
to
okay.
Miramax.
I was wondering if that like threw you through a nostalgia loop because that's a comment you made on one of your Halloween specials. Dude, I didn't even watch that recently, but like some of your older videos, they have permanently left catchphrases in my brain.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
we like to get a
So
bit
you're right.
quirky with the writing.
You think those turkeys will ever you think Deacon will ever get revenge on those turkeys?
We won't know this for this season. Maybe for like a Christmas special, we'll find out. I didn't have enough time to. I'm making a Halloween video, but it's just not. It's a small little short, and it doesn't have it. It's just a quick funny video. But um, so what are your thoughts on the OG movie? I think we already answered that, but give us a little review. You'd say, what do you like about it? What do you think? What do you think it could do better?
Okay, so my thoughts on the original movie is that I don't think they've really changed from my initial viewing. Because, like I said before, I watched it a few years back, and then I refreshed last night to check it out. It was back-to-back slasher films last night, crazy. But so I didn't really have a change of opinion. But here's the overall thing: is that this movie definitely deserves to be the placeholder it is. Because while when you watch the movie, you definitely notice a lot of tropes that were done during this time, but this movie also inspired a lot of tropes that happen in slasher films to come afterwards. It's one of those films that you do require some patience. It does have a pretty slow beginning, but it starts off pretty interesting. And it kind of goes on a good trail for like the first bit, slows down midway, but when Michael actually starts to rack up the kill count, that's where things get interesting, and it doesn't stop for the rest of the film. And the conflict goes all the way to the very end, and I think that's really cool. Um, so I would personally give the film like an 8 out of 10.
That's fair.
There
That's fair.
were some weird aspects. For instance, Laurie and some of the high school girls, they all looked like young adults, and I'm pretty sure that was like a film thing or whatever. It threw me off for a loop
Yeah,
personally.
well, I mean, with rules especially, there is. I must warn you, chat, for those who are young and haven't seen the movie, but you want to see it. There is a little bit of nudity in this movie because it's a horror movie. It's by today's standards, it'd be rated R. But because of that, like you said, all the actors for the two play teens, Lori, her friends, and even one of her friends' boyfriends. They're all pretty much in their 20s because obviously you can't show stuff like that with kids, so they have to be all adults.
Yeah, I get that. And there were multiple moments within this movie that you expect some things to happen, but they actually subvert and save that for later. And there have been times where certain sequences in the movie they would be the inspiration for certain tropes to happen in later films. Like you mentioned, the nudity, the whole couple's boinking only to get attacked by the serial killer later on. This movie was
Yeah,
kind of like a pedestal for that. Um,
it really was because like the only other movie. Well, I mean, I know there's a bunch of other slasher movies because this wasn't the first like horror movie or anything, right? But it was like the first to set up the slasher genre, like the tropes you usually see in it, and you can definitely see it in like other ways more successful slasher movies like Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street or even Chucky and all that. They very much have elements that are linked or that go back to the original Halloween. They just exaggerate it a bit more, and then they make the kills a bit more. How do you say it? I guess more extreme because slasher, the slasher genre, you're usually tuning in for the kills.
They really try to go in to make it look convincing because this is a movie made without any special effects or anything. My buddy Slime pointed out that when Michael used his hand to break one of the windows in the car that he escaped from, they had a hammer that was edited
Yeah,
out. Like that was a cool detail.
yeah, it's a
Um,
wrench, but you're right. There was something to help. Yeah, obviously, like you said, lower budget, no CGI at that time, especially. So they had to improvise with to try and make it seem like he's stronger than he is, right? So you can kind of see it. There's a wrench hidden in his hand. It's very much present in the film. You could see it, but you have to like really be paying attention because it's like rainy and dark, and the shadows are kind of covering it.
see here. Do you want to talk about like the details of the film before we talk about Michael, or do you want to just have it all splurge out into a random lot?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I don't know. I was thinking about, like you said, a little breakdown, kind of just talking about, I don't know, not going through every scene, but the main parts of it, and then discussing that. And then we can get into things like characters and maybe like even themes, because the concept of Michael Myers, too, there's a lot to talk about just him as like the
There's
boogeyman and
yeah,
stuff.
there's a lot of comments I'd like to make too about the character as well.
Let,
It's really
let's
nice.
let's start with the character. Or actually, let's just do a quick. I'll just do like a quick little review. So if anybody who doesn't hasn't seen the movie, it's about a slasher who pretty much breaks out, or not a slasher, sorry, a serial killer who breaks out of a mental asylum on Halloween and goes back to his hometown to pretty much terrorize it. Um, the movie starts with a from a POV shot of what we're expected to be a little boy, who's the main character of, well, not the main character, who will inevitably become our slasher serial killer, Michael Myers. And it's real. Let's talk about that first shot too, or not the first shot, that first scene, right, where it's a POV shot of a young Michael Myers, right, and clearly holding a camera, and like it's all in like one take, and it's just really that wasn't done back then. Like that's something you see a lot now with film, but back then to have it be like a handheld camera and be a POV shot of essentially the monster stalking its prey, and then all done in one take too. Really impressive for that time, especially for the horror genre.
We got FNAF fan 83 asking, "Do you think you'll make a Luca and Sally Halloween special?"
Thought about it. I don't think there's enough time though, unfortunately. So I cannot
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, I do. I thought that scene was pretty neat. I found it very unrealistic. Like, you would not catch me getting stabbed to death by my like what 8-year old little
Yeah,
brother.
6 year old little brother. Well, that's the thing,
Like
right?
they,
That's why it's
she,
so.
ne- she
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
the sister seemed like she had the strength where she would get crushed just by smelling the aroma of a gym.
Yeah, she was pretty scrawny. But that's the thing, right? That's why it's so intriguing, especially at the end where he like walks outside and the parents show up and they like take the mask off, and then it shows who the actual killer is. Like it's just this normal little boy. You would never expect this kid to do that, right? It's just kind of okay. It kind of goes into the topic of Michael Myers and what he is. He's this pure evil force that just there's no reasoning, no rationality behind what he does. It's just he's like an animal kind of. He just kills to kill, except he's not an animal, because an animal will kill to eat because it's hungry, right? Whereas like he's just doing it not even for like a sick sadistic pleasure, because he's not like showing any emotion or anything. He's just doing it to do it. And I think that's what makes it like that whole beginning shot so like beautifully well done, is because it really sets up like now you've got questions. Why did the little boy do that to his sister? Why did he kill her? Does he come from a bad household, or his, what is it? But in reality, it's just like, no, he looks like he just comes from a normal middle class American family. And for him to just turn like that out of nowhere, no reason whatsoever. It's just, it kind of adds to that scary element of just like what evil is.
It's like it makes you really wonder like what kind of thing even motivates Michael with, because he doesn't seem like someone who even has a bad backstory like you've mentioned or anything like that. He just seems like someone who's a little odd from everyone else to eventually go down a road of just mass murder without even giving a care. Like, does the devil have influence on him? Was he born with a mental disorder? Did he watch a bad movie one day? Nobody knows, and I think it's the mystery that's like gets people talking about it, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, on that note of the mystery, because like you said, you've only seen the Blumhouse trilogy, but
Yeah.
to kind of go off topic a little bit, because it's fascinating, and I think you may even, I could see you kind of thinking this is a cool concept. But in the second movie, Halloween 2, they um they write it where it turns out Lori is actually Michael Myers's younger baby sister that was given up for adoption sometime after he
Oh,
murdered his older sister. and that's why
Oh,
he's
okay.
chasing her. So it's like this family. It's like he's trying to wipe out his family, pretty much, for some reason.
I like in the Blumhouse that Lori just grows up to be this like old lady who just has a personal vendetta. I'm gonna kill this man. It's like it's just smoke. It's just a random lady.
Yeah. Well,
Like I don't.
the point for that, right, is to just show what trauma can do, especially something traumatic like that, where it's like, why me, why did I survive? It's that survivor's guilt mentality as well, that like, why did he manage to kill all my friends, but I ended up surviving? It's just, there's all these things to it, and then it clearly ruined her relationship with her daughter, and then made it difficult to have a relationship with her granddaughter, and then but she just really, the only way she feels like she can move on is if she fights Michael again, I guess, and then kills him.
We
So that's
got
good.
we got a pretty good question from Blue Film Rock.
Oh, let's see.
No. It's Skywolf Animation Studio. What was your favorite kill from the movie?
Ooh, from the OG Halloween. That's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
I love when it's in the kitchen, and I think it's one of the, I forget the girl's name, but it's the boyfriend of one of the girls, the cheerleader girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, where he pins him up against the cabinets with a knife, and he's pretty much hanging there.
He he pins him to the wall, non-sexual style.
Pretty much, right? That's pretty much what it was. If they made a remake, they'd totally make it sexual. But that is the
Uh,
best kill. There's a lot of reasons. That one's just, it's also kind of funny, that one, because if you look at the knife, it clearly didn't go like all the way into the guy to where it would come out his back and pin him against the wall. The knife clearly didn't do that. And not only that, the knife's not big enough to do that. So if it did, it wouldn't actually, it shouldn't be able to pin him regardless. But it's just what it represents, right? So he pins him against the wall, and then he steps back and just like tilts his head like a dog looking at it, like all confused, or not confused in his case, he knows what he's doing, but just in awe of it, right? And it's just so terrifying and creepy because it adds to that element. Like, he gets a pleasure from killing, right? And it's not like it could be anybody. It could be anybody. It doesn't have to be one. It's no one in particular he's targeting. He just wants to kill, and it's just such a cool and iconic shot of him staring up at the corpse.
Honestly, my personal favorite kill is the lady in the car, and we can delve back when we get to that scene. But that's definitely my favorite for a good reason.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I think they're all iconic pretty much. Like, even when he strangles the other one in the room with the
He
telephone line.
dresses up as a ghost.
He likes to troll a little bit. Michael likes to troll.
Let's see
But
right here.
but going back to the timeline a bit. So it cuts after, it shows that Michael Myers is just a little kid, and it cuts to 15 years later in the year 1978. This one took place in like, uh well, minus 15 minus 15 from 1979. You'll get the year Michael Myers killed his sister. But anyways, it cuts to 1978, where Michael Myers' psychiatrist, or doctor, Dr. Loomis, is with a nurse, and they're driving to pick him up and, I believe, take him in front of a judge. He's going to court for a sentencing, I believe it was. And when they get there, all the other patients at the mental institute are roaming around the area. They're not in their cells, and Michael Myers attacks the car, and he forces the nurse out of it. He steals the car, and then he drives all the way back to his hometown of Haddonfield, where he will continue his torture on the town.
Let's see right here. We got a comment from Tony Krynite fan 2005. That's a red flag of a name, dear lord. Let's all be thankful that the Halloween timeline where Michael has a child with his niece isn't
Oh,
canon.
yeah.
uh,
You don't know about that. I gotta explain this to
I
you.
yeah, I don't.
Okay, so the original timeline, the first ever time. So, okay, there's the first movie, right, which is its own thing, and then all these other timelines spur off from the first movie. The first timeline is what I believe is called the Thorn timeline, and it's basically after Halloween 2, when Michael attempts to kill Laurie again, and it's revealed that he's her brother, or she's his sister. Um, Halloween 3 happens, but has nothing to do with Michael Myers, so we skip to Halloween 4. And in that movie, apparently Laurie Strode and her, this is like years later. Laurie Strode gets married and they have a daughter named Judith. And Laurie and her husband are killed in a car crash, turning Judith into a foster child. Or not a foster child, but an adopted child. And Michael learns that he has a niece. And so he breaks out of the hospital that he's been in a coma in for since Halloween 2, and he goes after to kill her. But it turns out in Halloween's 4 and 5, we learn that Michael is part of a cult. And not only is he a part of a cult, he the reason for his madness is because some evil, I think, Celtic spirit is using his body to just kill. I forget like the exact reason. It's been a long time since I've seen it's very weird. They try to go very like almost mythos with this, like very
we
into
got
like it's
we
very
got
strange.
Mushy Boy commenting Diddy Myers.
Well, see, the reason it yeah, well, the reason for that is because I think it's implied she's underage still.
So Michael went out and
The cult made
went out
him
and
the cult made him have a kid with his niece, and then
he's trying to keep the slasher business in the family. He's making that generational money.
yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what he's doing. They're trying to keep the
uh,
family tree. Well, that is the point, is because he'll that evil spirit will leave his body and take over the baby's body, I believe, is the main point. Um, but they didn't have to do it like that. They did not need to write. Somebody chose to write that in Hollywood, so that's kind of
we got
yeah.
yeah, let's I think I'm just gonna stick with the Blumhouse trilogy, but we got Jenna Grant saying, question, who is the scariest serial killer in history, Freddy Krueger or Chucky? Well, I'll give you an answer. It's neither of those two.
I was gonna say I don't think either of them. They're yeah, neither of them are really that. Freddy's concept is scary though, the idea of, being killed in your dreams, but he's not very scary as like a monster or anything.
Alabama Myers. Okay.
It's true though. They went the Alabama route for some reason, and they're Southern.
All right, we got Blue Light saying hi. Hi, Blue Light. Durs for Ulti saying, what are your opinions on Halloween 3? I haven't seen it,
I
so you
haven't
take
seen
the
it
stage for that one.
either, actually, because it's like I'll admit, for a while I was, or I still will only watch it for Michael Myers, but Halloween 3 is so drastically different. It doesn't take it around Halloween 3. They wanted to turn the series into an anthology where like each new movie is kind of different than the previous one, and just kind of go from there. It had a whole different concept, a whole different plot. None of the characters from any of the previous movies are in it. I hear it's good, but I had never seen it because it didn't have Michael Myers. Um, but I'll have to check it out. I can't give my own opinions on it.
Okay. You down for any more questions, or do you want to talk about the next scene?
Yeah, we'll move on to the next scene. So then after Michael
All right.
escapes, it cuts to Halloween in Haddonfield, where we follow Laurie Strode as she's heading to school. And actually, this whole segment, I could pretty much sum up this whole point as Laurie interacting with her friends at school. It's just to show the life of these kids, right? You show that she's also a babysitter to Tommy Doyle, who she's pretty good friends with. Um, and while they're just showing off what this normal day for these kids are, you have Michael Myers in the background, like stalking them, watching from a distance, and every once in a while, kind of showing himself to them to like show that he's present and just like kind of worry them, make them feel like it's like, oh God, somebody's stalking us, right? Or something weird's going on. And I think this is you mentioned it earlier that this movie shows a lot of restraint, right? When it comes to like the kills, like it very much takes its time to slowly build things up so that when the
Yeah.
kills happen, it's a lot more scary and impactful. And this whole segment is probably one of the more impressive elements of the movie to me because of the amount of restraint it shows, as well as how well in this small time it's able to develop Lori and her friends and the Tommy Doyle, so that you actually care about them and you get to know them a bit. And then ultimately, when Michael Myers gets closer and closer, and it looks like he's getting ready to kill him, you actually feel you're afraid for them. You actually are worried about them because you like these characters. And this is a very interesting element of this movie that gets lost in a lot of slasher movies nowadays is none of these characters are assholes or jerks. They're all actually really likable. Sure, maybe they're annoying, a bit annoying at times, but they're supposed to be like teenagers in high school, right? So it's like, okay, it makes sense why they're annoying, but none of them are actually genuinely unlikable to where you don't care if they get killed or not. And I think that's just so unique, especially for the slasher genre, where a lot of the times there are asshole characters who are there to be jerks, just so you could see them get killed in a really cool or gruesome way. This movie shows a lot of restraint in how it builds up its characters without instantly killing them off and stuff.
Um, I do think that's pretty neat. I do think that's pretty neat analysis. My thoughts on the high school scene, thought it was okay. Wasn't the most set pieces there, but it was all right. I did find it kind of odd that they had the lockers just out there in an outside hallway. Just
I
kind
don't
of like
know.
bricked off
My
from
high
outside the
school had
building.
that, so
My high school never had that. I was born in
really,
2003.
you must have went to a wealthier high school. We were outside.
Ah, yes, the upper class. Let me eat my
Yes,
tortilla
yes.
chips
Yes,
in
yes, you
front
had
of your
nice crisp potato
in front.
chips for lunch, whereas us plebs were with Ruffles, 3 days old.
Uh, I imagine myself eating like on-brand food, and you're eating that off-brand food for a cheaper price you get at Dollar General.
We're literally eating the slop you see in like a cartoon, like just that giant, the giant goo with the lunch lady who sounds like a man and has a mole on her face with hair
Yeah,
streaming out of it.
the visuals, the
It's
visuals.
potato salad.
My buddy Bio like was going like, how are you able to interact with your locker? The hallway is so dark, and I'm like, it's called a flashlight. Just bring a
Well,
flashlight.
also just lights. Like I imagine your school had like lights up on the ceiling and stuff, so it's not like you were in the pitch black or anything. Oh
I
wait, does he
did
mean when
really
you
like.
open your lockers?
Well, no, he means like there's a wall next to the lockers in that shot in the movie, and it's like completely dark.
Oh, I
Like
see. Oh
it's pitch
yeah,
black. You
yeah.
can't see
I
the
get
lockers
you.
in the middle. But I do like the moment where Michael like grabbed the boy after he got his pumpkin smashed. And then he just kind of like walked steadily along the metal gate. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was
Uh
cool.
and then there was that one shot where Lori was leaving, and then Michael was behind her, and that shot in that angle went on for a 10 whole seconds.
Yeah, it was
Like,
long.
dear Lord. Like, I noticed that in the movie, like, wait, hold on. You got it paused? Wait, no, she's moving. Wait, what? Why is it still going on? What? Why is it still going on? Why is this going on for so long?
There are
What?
definitely some shots that are dragged out a bit, and some that are a little ridiculous, right? Like you remember that shot where she's like up in her room at her house and she looks out the window and he's there, and then it cuts back to her and she's clearly still looking at him, but when it cuts back to Michael, he's like gone. But it's like, how the hell would she have not seen where he went? Because it's like they didn't. It's not like she looked away and then looked back and he was gone. She was staring at him the whole time, and when it cut back to Michael, he was just gone. It just disappeared. No explanation.
Yeah. See
They have
here.
some funky looking scenes like that. I think I
Uh,
have the movie downloaded. I could find it and show you if
yeah, I
you're.
pulled it up.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
pulled. If you want to show it on a stream, that's fine. Let me see here.
Yeah. Actually, let me do that because it's so funny. She just disappears, or he just disappears out of
And
nowhere.
And while you do that, Yokanzi is asking, who is the most scariest character in horror movies? That is a tough one.
Oh.
Yikes.
Uh, ooh. Well, it depends. I mean, are we talking like monsters too? The Thing is a scary concept. Obviously, we don't get like an
It's
exact
just,
look
I
of a
think
monster,
character,
but
so maybe someone who isn't really a monster?
hmm.
I mean, I guess I'd go Slenderman from the recent film. I know that film wasn't really that great, but I remember watching that film on the plane and whatever. And if you're haunted by that version of Slenderman, it is definitely terrifying. Like seeing that woman at the end being pulled into the tree. Yikes. That movie did great in terms of special effects. See right here.
Let me see. Let me see if I could show you chat this scene. It's so funny.
You ever saw that Slenderman movie?
I no, I've only seen clips of it. I wanted to, but then after I heard all the reviews, I'm like, I'll just
Yeah.
not.
They make a lot of fair points. This is not well received.
Oh darn, doesn't look like I can show it. Actually, I could do this.
We got another question for you, my guy. Since when did you start watching horror movies by Yokanzi?
Oh yeah, I guess that's a good question. I could mention that because it goes into when I first saw the movie. So like this is a movie you kind of unless you're somebody who's never really seen scary movies or horror movies, or you're a child, you're not really gonna get scared by it, right? Because it's like it's pretty old, it's pretty like cliches, the slasher. It's kind of not really like scary when you, especially if you've seen a bunch of stuff today, and there's a lot more terrifying horror movies out there. But I was 10 years old when I saw this movie, and it was on Halloween, and I was terrified. I This movie scared the living hell out of me, and I had literal nightmares about Michael Myers hunting me and like my friends and family. It had an impact on me, and I think the reason for that is because unlike a lot of movies where they maybe do like demons or possessions and stuff, that stuff, unless it's done really really well, that doesn't really scare me just because it's kind of my mind can't, like, even though it's a movie, right, and the whole point is to just like subvert your disbelief, it doesn't scare me just because the concept of like these demons or ghosts are not as realistic as like a man in a mask invading your home without you knowing, or you knowing where he is, and then killing you, when you're least expect it. That's a lot more terrifying to me than a ghost or a demon movie, which are, I believe in spirits and stuff, but I don't think I believe into the level of like what these movies show us, like the Ex or the Exorcist, for example.
I believe if something's a little too supernatural, it kind of takes away from it. Like the Demogorgon, I feel like is a good example.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a cool concept, right? The cool looking design too. But you're right. Like, I would never. I look at that as more like, whoa, that's cool, kind of scary, versus like, oh god, that's
Yeah.
terrifying.
By the way, to some of the people in chat, the reason why I'm not like saying your question is that sometimes a question is wildly off topic, and some of y'all are just asking some odd questions. Literally, I saw a submission from someone in the chat that just said their age, and I'm like, yeah, that's not what we're talking about here, buddy. Yeah, no,
Also, wouldn't
not
recommend doing that either. It's like you're setting yourself up
yeah,
for. It's like you're
that's a little
asking for it
creepy,
at that
dude.
point, depending what age.
You're asking to be side-eyed.
Yeah, but okay. So also, I forgot to mention within that whole part of just getting to know the characters, watching their day-to-day lives, as teenagers, what they talk about. We set up their characters, personalities. We also um introduce Sheriff Brackett, who is one of the not only the sheriff of the town, but his daughter is one of Laurie's friends. And he meets Loomis. Loomis comes up to him and tells him about Michael Myers, and he's come back to Haddonfield, right? And he's come back to kill more people because he's just a force of evil, and he has just wants nothing but blood, pretty much. And then we get to like nighttime, right, where it's about Halloween night,
Yeah,
Lori
that's where
and
all the stuff gets it. That's where all the stuff gets into action. Yeah.
yeah, now it gets moving, right? Where Lori is babysitting Tommy Doyle at his house, and Lori's friend, I believe her name's Annie, who's also Sheriff Brackett's daughter. She's also babying sitting right across the street. I forget the girl's name. What was the? Do you remember what the little girl she's babysitting's name is?
And Angie, I think something starts with the letter A. I don't
I
know.
can look this up real quickly. Actually,
Oh,
her
by the
name's
way,
Annie, but what's the girl's name?
hey, by the way, are you able to put me on mod status on your chat? I saw
Oh
somebody
yeah,
asking like the same. I saw somebody just spamming the same question over and over.
that's a good idea. I should do that. Let me do that right
I don't.
now.
I'm not gonna ban anybody unless you tell me to. But if somebody's spamming a question over, do you think like
Yeah, you
a
could like put them in timeout, or if you notice, oh shit, I almost put you in timeout. uh,
oh gosh,
so
oh dang. But
yeah.
yeah, but it's your channel, so what do you think would be a good time?
Well, depending on how bad the spam is or whatever, I say, oh, for how long? If they're spamming, give them like 30 minutes, and if they come back, ban them for like the rest of the stream for like 24 hours. That's how I usually do it.
All right, all right.
All right, if you believe you have the power now, you've got the power, you've got the touch. Or no, you've got the touch, you've got the power. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie.
All right.
But oh yeah, so
All right.
Lindsay, that was the girl's name. So we have Lori
Ah, yeah.
babysitting Tommy Doyle and Annie babysitting Lindsay. And Michael Myers chooses to stalk Lindsay for a bit, and we get a bunch of shenanigans with her. Um, and again, it the fact that it showed so much reserve of like him, it's stalking her like an animal versus just getting straight into the killing, right? Like maybe it could have easily just done one scene of him like stalking her and then killed her, but no, it like really showed a lot of constraint. It was building up the tension because he would be watching her from a distance, and then each new time you see him stalking her, he's a little bit closer. So it's like him slow. It's almost like Jaws, right? It's like watching the shark in Jaws pretty much get closer to its prey. It's just it builds up the tension and builds up. Just I got to give it props for the restraint. And I hate to do this to all the animal lovers, but Michael Myers
Oh,
does. Yep,
yeah.
he does
Oh, that
indeed.
scene.
He kills a dog, and
That
it's
scene
not.
messed me up more than any person he's killed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, everybody. When it comes to animals, people we all tend to, and I'll do it too. But people tend to become a bit more uneasy with it. Like they dislike it a lot. Like I don't mind seeing the teenagers get killed or even a child, but when it comes to an animal, especially a dog, that's where people draw the line. And it's not like a gruesome death, but it was kind of from a technical filmmaking level, it was kind of impressive how they had it where like the dog's barking at him, right? And
And
then
then
Annie's
hearing it stop.
you hear it whimper, yeah. You hear it
How did
whimper
they
and then
do that?
stop. Well, it's
Because
just to
they
show
don't
how evil he
thank
is.
praise the Lord that no actual animals get harmed in these movies. Like the dog's okay, but like, how did they make it to where they convinced us that it died like in the film?
Well, that's what I always wanted to know because if you, I can't tell if it's like just a really well trained dog or if they got like a puppet because, like you said, right, like you don't see Michael. He strangles the dog. That's pretty much what he does. You don't see him strangling it, but it's very heavily implied he strangles the dog to death. And they show a shot from like the legs of Michael Myers, and you see the dog's like legs go limp. Right, they just stretch out like an animal's would because they're animals are very long, especially that kind of dog. I think it was a German Shepherd, if I'm correct. Um, but how they did it is just so like I'm curious myself. Like, how did was it like a stuffed animal? Was it a prop? Was it a really well trained dog that just went limp when commanded like that? Like I kind of want to know that story because that was really well done for that time, especially.
Let's just say that we hope it's a well trained dog. Let's hope that
I'm
let's
sh-
hope that
I'm
some
sure no
nasty strings
animal was
were pulled
harmed.
behind the scenes.
I'm sure no animal was harmed in the making. I'm pretty sure we would have heard about it by now, especially in today's culture. But that's actually not the first time he kills a dog. I just remembered that when Sheriff Brackett and Dr. Loomis go to the Myers house to see if Michael's there, you don't see the dog, but uh they see a dog that's clearly dead and it's kind of tore apart. Michael ate it pretty much. He got hungry, is what Loomis says. So he found a dog and killed it and ate it.
He saw a rabid beast barking at him. He just went, "Yup, boy dinner."
Yeah. Well, again, it goes into the irrationality of it, right? Like every other serial killer, well, except maybe Jason, but I don't think we've ever seen Jason eat anything. But every other serial killer, they seem normal in the sense of like they're very aware of what they're doing, right? Whereas Michael Myers, that's the whole interesting part. Like, is he aware of it? There's obviously no humanity because of the way he's killing people without remorse. And then here we have him, clearly he's hungry, right? So he gets hungry like a normal person, but instead of stealing food from a store or, like, I don't know, killing somebody and taking money to feed himself, he just finds an animal and then eats it. And we don't see it obviously because you can't show that, or but, and thank God they didn't show that, but that's what he chose to do. So it's just this whole other layer of like, what is this thing? Obviously he's pure evil, but like it's clearly not like animalistic, because an animal, again, it kills to eat. Every time an animal kills something, it tends to usually eat it. There's a reason for it, right? Versus this, where it's like there's no reason for it when it comes to this
Smoky
killing
Owls.
humans.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Sorry.
The Smoky Owls 29 says the dog was both a puppet and a real dog, so they switched between the two.
Yeah, so I'm guessing obviously the scenes where it's barking, it's real, and
they
then the dead body scene, or like where he kills it, that's probably a puppet.
they use a plushie.
I bet that dog was a better actor than Jared Leto. That dog could play a better Joker than Jared Leto.
See here. Now you're getting. And now we're on to the scene of my favorite kill of Michael
Yes.
Myers killing Annie. Now, this scene, I completely forgot how Annie's death happened, and I'm glad I rewatched it last night. Okay, this was something that caught me off guard. When Annie went off into the laundry house, right? And there have been multiple shots where Michael was behind her, either across the door or across a window, right? You see her trapped into the laundry house. She was just trying to get her stuff and then get out. And then in multiple shots, it makes it look like where Michael is going to come from the other side of the screen or from behind her to kill her. But the weird thing is that when Lindsay goes out and finds Annie, Michael doesn't do it. Like, I'm pretty sure that everyone who saw that scene initially just goes like, "Oh, he's going to kill her before Lindsay can get to her and open the door. He's going to do it." But he actually doesn't do it. And then Lindsay opens the door and Annie seems like, "Oh, she's going to be okay then." And then, a few scenes later, Annie just steps into the car and then everything seems like it's going to be fine. I mean, I'm used to these, so I knew Michael was going to be there the moment she like turned the lights on or whatever. But when she walks into the car, and when you're the first time watching something like this, Michael just shows up from the back of the car and then kills her there.
Yeah,
That
he
was done so well.
he strangles her, and then he, I believe, slits her throat with his knife, and that's how he kills her.
This film did an amazing job of like setting up something, and then like people are expecting something and then they surprise us with it not actually happening. That built up tension just kind of goes nowhere so that they can actually shock you later on. That was by far the most effective kill scene to me personally, because every other death I kind of saw coming, but that one caught me off guard until she stepped into the car.
Yeah.
Then it was obvious,
Well,
but until then I was on my feet.
that scene's also really, like you said, it's really well done in the build up, because I don't know if you remember, she goes to the car initially and it's locked, like she can't open it, and so she goes back. So they do this whole thing where they show her going back to the house, and then getting her keys and then coming back, and she goes to open the door again because I guess she just forgot that it was locked initially. But for the audience, it shows us that, like, okay, so it was locked. Oh, she opened it. Wait, how did she open it? It was locked. And then you get the where she's in it and she's like, something's
I
wrong with the
didn't
window, right?
notice
You
that.
didn't notice that? Yeah,
Oh, I
dude.
didn't notice. Oh, that
Crazy.
makes it so much better.
Right?
Oh gosh.
And then all that
That-
smog that's on the windshield, because that wasn't there either. So in that time span, I don't know what Michael did to make it like that, but he distracted her long enough with that to where, like you said, he just jumps up from the back and just grabs her throat and strangles her and kills her. It's really well done because you, as the audience member, see it, right, and you start going, wait, that was locked. How did she open that? What's going? And then it's like, wait, something's gonna happen, and then bam, it happens.
And she didn't even turn the light on, and my mind was just telling me that. But no, Michael just actually just like raised his white face from the shadow, which is something I'll comment more on when we get to his actual character himself. But like, it was real. It was really off putting. I really liked it.
Yeah. So that's pretty much, actually no, that's our third kill for the movie, because I forgot earlier when Loomis was heading to Haddonfield, he stopped at a payphone to try and warn them at the police station, and he finds a truck that belongs to a mechanic. And he doesn't see it, but we see that Michael killed the mechanic and then dumped his body off into some shrubbery, and he stole the mechanic's jumpsuit. So that's how he gets his jumpsuit. And then when we get introduced to,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And then later on, when we're introduced to Sheriff Brackett, he's at the hardware store where, somebody broke in and stole a couple knives, a rope. I think he said some rope and a mask, and that mask being obviously Michael Myers' mask. And it was Michael Myers, and so that's how he gets his fit. I completely forgot. That's kind of an important detail. So had to bring all that up. But that's the third kill for the movie, is Michael killing Annie. And then I believe, well, actually, prior to the kill, Annie was going to go pick up her boyfriend, and so she drops off Lindsay at the house Lori is babysitting Tommy Doyle at. And then she goes to the car and does all that, gets killed. And so now I believe this is when I think it's her name was Linda, the other friend. Her and her boyfriend show up because they were gonna have, like, I don't know. I guess they were gonna they were gonna do the good stuff at that person's house, at the babysitter's house for some reason. So they get there and Michael starts stalking them, right? And they do their thing, as teenagers do, and then we get
Yeah, like I really liked that scene where Annie just undressed out of nowhere in
oh
one of the
yeah,
rooms.
that
Michael was just looking through the window, and I'm like, "Dang, that cake on display for free, son!
for
Dang,
free. I didn't
I
pay
had
for
to, I had
that.
to, I thought I had to pay some dollars at the bakery." Like,
I forgot about that. Yeah, because she apparently, you're right, she spills like butter on herself, because she's making popcorn for Lindsay. But you're right, she only spills it on her shirt, but I guess that for her was a good enough reason to get down to her underwear, and then she just puts on like a button shirt that I believe belongs to the dad of the house, or Lindsay's father
yeah,
rather.
the directors knew exactly what they were doing. Like, there is no defending it.
Well, again, it's just the tropes, right? Because, like, I think the
It's
movie
just the trope.
the movie before Halloween that was like seen as not the like slasher film, because I don't think that film's necessarily a slasher movie, but the movie it took a lot of inspiration from was Psycho, right? And there's that scene of the girl in the shower and the killer comes up and kills her in the shower, and it doesn't really show like it doesn't show anything like Halloween shows anything, but it's enough to show you that she's obviously naked in the shower, right? So that's just like a trope with these horror movies, is to get like, especially for young women to, show a little, especially when it comes to Friday the 13th. I think there's a nipple in every single movie, now that I think about it.
Yes, someone named Aquamary pointed this out, saying, "I love that they filmed this movie with low budget and that it was made by teenagers." Is that true?
it Yeah, so the movie was made on a $300,000
Ah,
budget. John Carpenter, that was his, I believe that was his first feature film. That was the first time he's ever making like a feature film that will be like in theaters. So he's new, he's young. They only have a $300,000 budget. The whole cast and crew are pretty new. his co-writer Deborah Hill, who helped John Carpenter write the movie, is also everybody's young. This is literally it's not teenagers because they're all
Uh,
like young adults, like in their 20s, but it was literally made by a bunch of kids. the movie, so it's even more like
okay.
impressive.
That explains a lot. Then, yeah, I see that.
Yeah, very low budget, even compared to that time, right? Where it's like movies back then were a bit more. They cost a bit more than the budget they were given for Halloween.
Michael is like William. Well, like father, like, oh wait, not this Michael. Sorry. Dear Lord, you realize your mistake, but you just comment it anyway.
Yeah. Somebody also mentioned for you, your who was it? I don't know
Oh,
how to
okay.
pronounce that. Yokanzi, your favorite horror character.
My favorite horror character?
Yeah.
Um, in modern slashers or horrors or yada yada, I don't care. They're all the same. To me personally. Horror slashers. It's a horror movie. I really like The Grabber. The Grabber is by far one of,
That's
if
the
not my
black phone
most
one, right?
favorite. Yeah, the Black
Okay.
Phone one. The Grabber, literally, as the name suggests, he abducts children, and he actually does have a personality and a voice that communicates with other people, and he does it in such an expressive way, along with his unique mask design, that it gives off a lot of style visually, and it's really cool. He kidnaps children. Now, I don't know if you've caught wind of this at all on Twitter, but the Grabber got added to Fortnite this month along with
Wait,
Jason and
really?
Ghostface. Yeah, have you paid attention to Fortnite this month?
No,
They're
I don't
adding
play Fortnite. I think the last thing I
yeah,
saw
but
them do was the Scooby Doo one, and I was just like, "Oh, that's funny. That's good. I like that. That's funny."
legit everything that's happening in Fortnite this month, a lot of these happened already too, is Ghostface, Jason Voorhees, and then they released The Grabber, the whole Scooby-Doo gang. They got Shaggy and Scooby and Velma, Daphne, and Fred are releasing either tonight or tomorrow. The Repo skin, dear Lord, have you seen the
Wait,
Repo
they
skin?
added the repo skin. Hold on, I gotta look this one up.
No, look this up on Google. You're not gonna believe it. You are not gonna believe how they made it work.
I gotta see this.
There's no like you are not brace yourself.
Oh, damn, look at them legs. Damn, they got long legs. They call
They
him
just
Daddy Long Legs.
literally they literally just stretched their arms and legs out. But
I like how they're nubs too. There's like no feet. It's just nubs for feet. But they gave him
but
hands. That doesn't
yeah,
make any sense. No, wait, they give him hands with fingers, but they choose to give him nubs for feet. That doesn't. All right, whatever. I'm not going to question that. The fact that that's even there is hilarious. I'll give Fortnite one
that's
thing.
crazy.
The fact it has all these like characters in it and it makes it work is impressive. Because like there's like Dead by Daylight, for example. I heard a rumor. It was only a rumor, so I doubt it'll ever be true. And there was I don't remember like what the evidence to suggest it was, but it was just a fun rumor that I thought would be cool, but it would ruin a bit of the horror element of Dead by Daylight. There was a thought that maybe Darth Vader will be in a in DBD, which is a cool
Well,
concept.
that's interesting, but
Yeah,
yeah, it kind of sets it off a bit, but it would I think his character would work for the tone of that game.
yeah, I think it could too. Because I mean, Vader is supposed to, he's a menacing villain, right? Almost like terrifying.
Dude,
So
he
it works.
chokehold lifts you onto the hook. Like he lifts
That
you
would be
up
pretty cool.
and onto the hook. That'd be sick.
That'd be funny too. It'd be pretty funny. Yeah, his lightsaber could be obviously the his killer weapon. He couldn't. Well, I guess you could do some fun skins with that. You could have like a burnt Vader skin, where it's like the helmet's broken and he's like suit's all torn and stuff. It could work. It's just, but again, it kind of ruins a bit of the element of like Dead by Daylight. Whereas like Fortnite, right? It makes sense and it's kind of I think it just I don't know. I just think it works because maybe the art style, maybe the way they implement it. It just makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah, that's not even all the collabs because
The
Wednesday and Art
skins.
the Clown. Yeah, Wednesday and Art the Clown are coming to the game Fortnite later this month too. And guess
Wednesday.
who is coming
Interesting.
on the 23rd?
Are they finally? Are they gonna add Springtrap now?
Nope, no
Oh,
FNAF this year.
uh,
Eventually, but
maybe one day.
it's Huggy Wuggy. He's coming on
Oh
the
my
23rd.
god. I'm honestly
And
surprised that hasn't come that character's not in there sooner.
yeah, Mob Entertainment is literally branch reach out the company. Yeah, I get that.
Hey, they're good at
But
marketing those things.
really cool. Let me see here. But yeah, no. So the topic, the reason why I bring this up is that the reason people hate that the Grabber is being added to Fortnite, a game that's accessible to kids, because you haven't seen
Huh?
the movie, so you don't know, is that the movie the Grabber is in, Black Phone, doesn't show any scenes like this.
Oh, it's
But
just
the
implied
director
he's a
did
weirdo.
confirm that, yeah, yes, the
Nah.
Grabber. As much as I like the Grabber, the thing is he's a cheese pizza enjoyer. He's a predator. There's no scenes in the movie that
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
suggests
whoa!
this,
Hold on. What do you got against
but
cheese pizza eaters? Hold on. I take that as a personal attack. You got run it back real quick. What did? Now hold on a second, because I
he's on
enjoy
the
some cheese pizza. So what are you saying about me?
the grabber's a predator, and people say, "Oh, this is horrible. He shouldn't be added to the game. Oh, this is vile, disgusting." And I'm like, he's a killer. He's already the lowest of the low. I feel like adding on to that list doesn't
Yeah,
really mean anything.
but there's a
Like,
limit. You know, there's an L. I think there's like I don't know. There's certain things you don't have to take it right. Like what wasn't there like a FNAF fan game where it's
oh yeah,
implied they
yeah,
made
Gorman.
William a creep too, or as you would say, a cheese pizza enjoyer. No, I'm kidding. But you
uh,
know,
uh,
there's a line. I think you don't have to cross certain lines or elements like that.
well, the thing is, the difference is that game's Dorbitabus and the creator Blackout is actually that. So, and
Yeah,
also
well,
not
yeah,
to
that's true.
mention
There's a lot
they.
more to it than just choosing to for a narrative direction.
And meanwhile, William was saying some weird things. But meanwhile, in Black Phone, it's definitely a lot more subtle. They don't have any scenes, and it's never obvious. He does act weird to some of the kids, but well, actually, we only see one. But whatever. He interacts with one kid weirdly, and that's it. But
Hmm.
other than that, it's a lot more subtle. It's not blatant. And the
Okay.
director said, "We don't need to show this,"
Well,
and
yeah,
that
of
is the
course, and
mind of a that is the mind of a sane person. I can respect that.
I get it. I mean, they're clear. I don't again haven't seen the movie, so I don't know how it fits narratively. Obviously, like you say, he kills people, so it's like you would think that'd be good enough. But the point is, they're trying to show this guy as evil as possible, right? And they're just using
Yeah,
every
they want to show
example.
he's the worst scum. Like, and basically, we're getting off topic, so I'm going to end it off with this. Basically, people are complaining that the grabber is being added to the game, but people are not complaining that Art the Clown is being added. Literally, the most gruesome serial killer in the block. Okay, yeah, nice standards, guys. Nice standards.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's definitely
See
a
right
lot of
here.
complainers who just like to complain. That's for sure.
Yeah, I hear you. But
All
anyways,
right.
back to the topic at hand. Michael kills Annie, and then next up is where Bob and the other blonde chick head over to Laurie's house.
I think it's not Lori's house, but it's the house. It's Lindsay's parents' house, but Annie's obviously babysitting her there. So it's technically Lindsay's house. They head over to Lindsay's house because I guess Annie was gonna let them come in and use the parents' bedroom. Um, but Michael killed her. So when they get there, they're like, "Oh, she's not here." So they call Lori, who's at obviously the Doyle's house, babysitting Tommy Doyle and Lindsay now. Um, and she tells them that Annie was going to go off and pick up her boyfriend because he found a way to, I guess, get out of his being grounded. And so they're on their own. They do their thing for a while. It shows Michael Myers stalking them a bit, and then Bob gets up to go into the kitchen to grab them some beers. And in there, well, we get some like there's so obviously Michael Myers is stalking him, right? But there's you probably remember there's the scene where he's just like looking through the cabinets and the cupboards, and then the back door just opens out of nowhere, and it's a windowed back door, so like you could see out there, right? But there's nobody there, obviously. But it opens by itself, right? Which is kind of like, I know Michael Myers is not like a supernatural thing, or at least not in this. He's supernatural in the sense that you can't kill him, but he hasn't been shown to have powers like that. So that's kind of weird that they did it like that, where it's like, plus he's hiding in the closet waiting for Bob to open it so he can kill him. So obviously he couldn't have opened that back door. So that part was kind of weird to me, but it was just, I guess, supposed to be there to be more suspenseful and scary, even though it makes no sense whatsoever. But I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking, but
Oh no, it's fine. It's a fair comment to make.
yeah,
Um, Now, if you were saying, "Oh, I don't like that the pot on the kitchen handle was blue. I'd rather prefer to be green," then I'd be like, "Okay, man.
yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
it's
That's true. I mean, yeah, I guess
not
that's
like a, you're
yeah.
not,
That's more so
you're,
nitpicking, I guess, because like I said, it doesn't make sense how that door could have opened by itself, but it was just simply done to build up the tension more and the suspense. But so Bob's, starting to, he's like looking around like, oh, that was weird. And so he thinks it's Annie. And so he's calling out, thinking maybe it's Annie or her boyfriend. And then I think it was just he hears rustling from the closet, or the closet, and in the kitchen. And then he goes to open it all casually, thinking, oh, I found them. I know you guys are in there. And then as soon as he opens it, Michael Myers just bum rushes him and grabs him by the throat, pins him up against I believe it's the cupboards or maybe the wall. I forget what exactly it was, but he's got him by the throat. And he lifts him up with just one arm and around his neck too. So he's choking him out and then lifting him with one arm just to show that this is there is something unnatural or a bit supernatural about Michael Myers, right? At least physically, he can't. Well, as
oh
we'll
yeah,
learn later, he can't be killed, and he has like this superhuman strength. And then the fact that he doesn't talk whatsoever, doesn't emote, doesn't react, doesn't do anything. And then he just takes his knife and just pins it right in Bob's chest, and then it hangs him from the wall. And you see this really cool shot where it cuts to his feet because he was struggling earlier. So you see his feet like kicking around, and then after Michael stabs him with the knife, his feet go limp, and he's just hanging there in the air. And then it does this cool looking, I don't know, I don't think you'd call it an establishing shot because it's not like it's establishing a scenery or anything, but like this medium shot of the characters, and you just see Michael just looking at him, and he just like tilts his head like a little kid in awe of something, kind of just like what admiring what he's done, so to speak. And it's just such
that's
a
really
cool and eerie, like it's iconic. Like that's probably, in my opinion, it's one of the most iconic shots in the movie, but in my opinion, that's the most iconic shot of the movie. It really captures everything.
I think the most iconic bit for me personally was definitely at the very end, when he gets the round of bullets, and you know what happens after that, but we'll get to the ending in a second.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do think it's a shot that I will draw attention to later. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, I think the one thing I like about this movie is that every kill is different from each other. The first kill is an overextended build-up to where it happens out of nowhere. Then the second kill is like very abrupt to where Bob is like the scene plays out like Bob is going to open the closet and have nothing there. But they surprise us with Michael just abruptly jumping out of there and getting him, like instant. So I think
Yeah.
that's a really nice contrast from long and drawn out, but in a good way, to like extremely abrupt, and also in a good way. And the next one is deception, and then the next one is just a full on battle.
Yeah. Something I forgot to mention, and you hear this throughout the movie too, are the thing that kind of told us, Michael, this was gonna be, we were gonna see a kill here in this scene, is that you can hear Michael Myers. Oh, yeah, I can't speak. You can hear Michael Myers breathing, and hit it from the mask, and so he's around there somewhere. And you could hear this happens throughout the movie too. His breathing is very present in this movie, just like Darth Vader's breathing is present in like Star Wars, right? Like it's just that sound of menace that just adds a layer of eeriness to the scenes with with him in it, and you know something's going to go down. It's something they actually lose in the other movies, and it's a bit present in the Blumhouse movies, but not as present as it is in this first movie. But it just adds a really nice touch, and I like that a lot. But then we get over to now we get over to probably the funniest scene in the movie where uh not Lindsay, Linda, I think is the other girl's name. She's in bed, right, waiting for Bob to come back, and then and then it shows Michael Myers opening the bedroom door, and he just stands there, but he's wearing a white sheet like a ghost, and he's just wearing Bob's glasses and just standing there.
I
It's
like
just you go ahead, you go ahead.
I like that he thought, wait, I'm gonna look like a stranger if I just wear a white sheet with nothing. So he figured, hey, if I wear the glasses outside,
I know,
maybe
right?
she'd recognize me as well. And
That's a
the
good
thing is,
point.
it worked. The thing is, it worked.
Well, it's funny because that's a good point you bring up. Like he could have just wore the white sheet, right? And it would have been like, oh, ha. She probably would have just thought like, oh, haha, Bob, because like who else is there? So it would like I doubt she would have thought it wasn't him, but he had to add the touch by like going, maybe if I put these glasses on, it'll really seal the deal here, really sell my performance.
She like, and then she reveals herself being like what you see, and he's
Oh
like,
yeah,
well, I mean, I got something you'd be interested in, but I'm talking about a knife.
yeah, exactly, right. So yeah, I'll put something in you,
I
that's for sure.
I
Gonna be a
didn't
knife
think
though.
you wanted. I doubted you wanted to go there. I was thinking of that.
I thought about it too, but I'm like,
I
we're just gonna send
don't.
her. I'm gonna
I
send it.
doubt. I held myself back, but you didn't care.
Yeah.
It's like an actual
Yeah.
knife. I ain't talking no. I'm not interested.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not interested, you dirty whore. But it's
And then
just
she turns.
oh go ahead. Sorry.
She turns around to have Lori call her, and then has this whole conversation. Like she doesn't care he's there. Oh
Uh
my gosh.
oh yeah, also oh god, I'm so terrible at describing movies. Somebody brought up in chat, that's a great point. I'm actually gonna pull up the scene because we need to watch it. It's so well done, but it's the speech Dr. Loomis gives to Sheriff Brackett about Michael Myers, the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I gotta find it real quick because I think we'll
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it, but I rather
that's
show
Aaron.
people it
Yeah.
too. That is probably one of the most iconic speeches in not just the movie, but maybe even in the horror slasher genre. Um,
I was with Aaron when I was watching the film last night, and he brought a lot of attention to that speech too, and I listened to it. It was pretty cool. Nothing that really stuck to me, but I can see why people like that moment a lot.
well, it's also Donald Pleasance, the actor who plays Loomis. I mean, he's a great actor even before he was in this movie, but like he sells it in this scene. So let me see if I can grab it real quick. Actually, let me do this. There we go. All right. I'll show it on the stream to chat, and then we will talk about it because it is a great scene.
Are you gonna share your screen,
I can
or
show it in
you gonna
Discord
like?
too. Yeah. Let me
All right,
share it in Discord. There we go.
put up. Oh, okay. My boy Aaron pulled this up on a website called like Soap Today or whatever, where you can
Oh
just pull
yeah,
up any
believe
movie
me, I
you
know
watch.
that. In fact, I
We
might have been the
we
one who showed him that.
hey, we like to pirate up here. We like to pirate up in these streets.
Hold on. I need to. Oh, whoa. It's not pirating. It's a totally legal and legit download website anybody can access. Okay, let's not get crazy. Hold on. I need to make sure it works in chat or like people can hear it.
I mean, that's how I watch my anime episodes. I go on highanime.to. I'm just like, piracy. It is the key. No streaming app has every anime.
Chat, were
Why
you
would I
able to
pay
hear
for
that?
multiple?
I can't tell if they could hear it or
Oh
not.
shoot, hold on. Let me see
Oh
if I can
no,
rewind.
I'm looking it up.
It is the key.
I don't. Damn. I can't tell if they can hear it or not. I need to pull up let's see. Were you able to hear a chat? No, I was. Oh no. How do I do this?
I don't want to confirm. I don't want to confirm anything. I kinda. I don't know if my mind was playing tricks on me or I just didn't hear it.
It's very low, regardless.
Also, I think your voice might be quieter than mine. Let's see.
I can turn you down a bit.
Pretty good margin.
Here, let me turn you down, I guess.
Try playing the clip for a bit, and I'll get back to you if I can hear it on my end.
The clip is very low already.
Okay.
It's playing right now. I'm a professional here, trust me. No audio?
There is no audio from the video at all.
Okay, let me try this then. Let me do this. Just do. Where is the display capture? And do that. Oh wait, I already have one. I have so many tabs open.
You see, the thing about Streamlabs that if you add a window, it automatically detracts the value.
I do need to get that. I've thought about it. I just keep forgetting. All right. Surely, I think they'll be able to hear this one. The audio is already really low, though. Can you confirm for me if it's hearable or not?
All right. And that is a no. There is no audio still.
What? Why am I so bad?
Man, there's yeah, man, that's just I don't know. It's just an awkward moment. See right here? Happens to the best of us. I love seeing the inception on the OBS because your OBS is showing.
I forgot this is up.
Get careful, Magma. Your OBS is showing.
I know. I'm gonna be careful. There's children present. Wait. I'm kidding. It's a joke.
I was more referencing the Team 4-star moment. Careful, Cell, your Vegeta's showing. In terms of personality.
Okay. Let's see. Will this work?
All right. I'll see you in a few seconds.
Wait, no, fuck.
Yes. Yeah, I am. I met him 15 years ago. I was.
Fuck. Hold on. I'm so confused right now. Why is this up? Oh, all right. Never.
Okay, the thing is, the audio.
Can't figure out.
The thing is that the audio is working, but you aren't sharing you aren't showing the clip to the stream. Like the clip hasn't showed up.
Yeah, I'm well because it was taking the audio from something else, which I didn't want because it would have made us echo.
Ren,
I have us all
do something.
Here, you know what? Let's just do this. This will make it easier. Unhide all. I'll mute these applications, but I'll keep. Oh wait, I'm retarded. All right, I'll show the visual right now.
Ren. Oh, you can't say that. You can't say that, Magma.
What?
You can't.
Eat a dick. You can't say whatever I want.
Based. See here. Ren, do something. I'm pretty sure he's doing the most he can, guys.
Listen, guys, I'm retarded. I'm sorry. Hold on. I gotta get this.
The thing is, chat, he's saying that about himself, so y'all can't say shit.
Oh, I'd call people it too. I don't care. if they're acting. It's like that. Never mind. Let's watch this scene. I'll describe my reasons later.
If they're acting dumb, it's okay.
Exactly. You don't call the actual people.
Straight up. Facts.
So let's cut to the actual quote.
You must think me a very sinister doctor. Oh, I do have a permit.
Seems to me you're just plain scared.
Yes, yeah, I am. I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong. I met this 6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. I spent 8 years trying to reach him, and then another 7 trying to keep him locked up, because I realized that what was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
What do we do?
All right. So that's pretty much the quote. Great scene by the now late, well, obviously late, it's been a long time, but the late Donald Pleasance. And that pretty much encapsulates Michael Myers, though, if you ask me. I mean, it even explains like the mask, right? He's just emotionless. And then that obviously he's talking about his actual like expression, his face and everything, his real face, but then it captures the masks too, because that's the reason he wears that mask is that's really who he is, right? It's kind of like Batman, right? It's like, oh, Bruce Wayne's the mask, not Batman. But in Michael Myers' case, that mask represents everything Loomis just said. And Loomis doesn't know he's wearing the mask at this moment. He still thinks it's Michael maybe just out there. You know, he knows what his face looks like, but he doesn't know he's wearing that mask. And so it works so perfectly because that just encapsulates the whole theme of Michael Myers and like what he
Don't you see this mask is my face?
Yeah, exactly. It's literally like the Batman though, right? Like that's the whole argument with Batman too. Um yeah,
He
so good.
it's just like it's such a speech that can actually reach people too, because there are multiple people who like do psychiatrist work and all that, and I'm sure that they have patients who are similar to this kind of situation, to where like they go through these experiences with these people and say that sometimes they encounter people who just seem like they cannot be reasoned with, who have a permanent mindset and a permanent way of thinking that cannot be altered by any outside force. Some of them believing to seeing that it's some outer source that's causing some sort of influence. I think that that scene does a good job with trying to relay that on just a general note, but also doing a good job with explaining like Michael as a character without even having to go too deep into it.
Well, you know, I'm glad you actually mentioned that you brought up like how maybe real psychiatrists have to deal with that, because that just reminded me because I watched a documentary on the movie, and in it John Carpenter talks about the idea for the concept of Michael Myers was he visited like an asylum or a mental asylum, and there he did see a kid who looked at him with the exact same expressions that Loomis just described in that speech. And so it gave him such a odd like feeling, like a not anxious, but just like a dread, I guess, or like something sinister, you know? Because like you said, that's not normally how, just by, you know, society and rationale, that's not normal people act, right? And so it's just that heavily inspired the concept for that speech, as well as just the overall being of Michael Myers. So there is an element too, like you said, that why people could, you feel like you can relate to that to some extent, or certain people like psychiatrists or whatnot could relate to that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But okay, so he kills Bob, and so now we're back to yes, he's messing
Yeah,
with
he's the
Linda.
ghost. Yeah, and then Linda answers the phone.
Well, she calls Lori because I think because she's talking to Michael as if he's Bob, and every time
Yeah.
she's trying to they're sweet talk, or she's sweet talking, but Michael's not responding, and then she starts to grow frustrated and annoyed, and so she calls Lori because she realizes Annie hasn't come back yet, and something fishy's going on. And then as she turns her back to him to call Lori on the phone, that's when Michael starts like coming towards her, and then they have that's when like the theme starts to build up too. That I don't know how you would, because I don't know like instruments or like music, but just that that dun dun dun, yeah, that like he's approaching her. It's like he's slowly like an animal is like stalking and it's about to pounce on its prey, right? And that's pretty much what that whole like that theme and that whole scene is. And so he takes the cord of the phone and begins to strangle Linda with it. And she managed to call Lori in time. You're laughing. I think I know why you're laughing, but go ahead and say why you're laughing.
I like that the kill, like it's literally her being choked to death, but the reason why Lori wasn't worried is because Lindsay's sounded like it sounded like them messing around.
Yeah,
so she thought she was getting
you're right. Because she's struggling while he's choking her, and Lori picks up the phone and she just hears it, right? And like you said, it sounds, her like groans and moans of being choked sounds like her and Bob are doing something and they're messing with Lori. And she's like, "Is this some kind of joke? Haha, guys, funny." And then inevitably she gets killed. And then Michael picks up the phone and just starts breathing into it. And then Lori's like,
Michael picks up the phone.
Yeah,
like why did
man?
he picks up the phone? He's like, "Hey, Papa John's, where's my pizza?"
You said if it gets here before 30 minutes, I get the free pizza.
But he slowly picks up the phone and just breathes in it.
Yeah. But then like this is around when Lori starts to realize something else is going on, and then she hears the breathing and she gets worried now too. And then I think she hangs up, right? Or does Michael hang up?
I think she's the one who does it.
She probably does it. But then she looks out the window and Michael starts turning on and off all the lights, kind of like enticing her to get over here. He's like messing with her because he knows she's there. Earlier in the movie, he saw her go up to the house to babysit Tommy. And so like it's like he's trying to leave out bait to get her to go over to the house so he can kill her too. It's so eerie because again, he clearly knows what he's doing, but he also like it's just I don't know, it's the mythos of Michael, I guess. Like it's like how every culture has like a story of the boogeyman, right? Or like they kidnap children, or they it's the thing parents tell their kids when their kids are acting up. It's like, oh, you got to be careful because I don't know, the cucui's gonna get you or whatever, or El Cuco or whatever. And it's just like he's kind of like that too to some extent. Obviously, we don't say like be careful. You don't tell your kids, oh, you got to be careful, otherwise Michael Myers gonna get you. But it's kind of that same mythology to some extent, or the same what do you call it? Not mythology, but also not mythology, but more so I guess urban legend a bit, kind of, like the Headless Horseman, just like those stories that are meant to scare you.
The warnings, yeah.
Yeah,
I saw some shows where parents are to tell their kids a scary story in order to make them behave.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what those are. That's what
do you
supposed
think?
To do. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No,
do
no,
you? It's just we spend like an hour saying like, oh no, my bad. After you. Oh, no,
I'm just gonna shut up.
Like we're two Uno players and we're constantly putting the Uno reverse on each other. But no, sir, after you. Oh no, sir, after you. Fine, I guess I'll play. But do you think that Michael picked up that phone because he knew Lori was his sister, and he wanted to hear her voice before he went and do the deed?
Yeah, you know, it's interesting you bring that up because you could easily make that claim, right? Like for lore purposes or like as a way to rationalize it in one's head. It's definitely easy to do that. Considering when they made the first Halloween, John Carpenter only wanted to make one. He didn't want to make a sequel. Halloween 2 was not supposed to be a thing. Halloween 1 was such a huge success that the producers and the other the other producers who, you know, helped fund the movie, they wanted to keep making more. And so so John Carpenter and Deborah Hill begrudgingly came back to help write the second movie. And that's when they threw in the that Laurie is his sister. So in the first movie, it's not supposed to be like that. It doesn't come until the second movie, and even Carpenter himself has said he hates Halloween 2 because he didn't want it. He didn't want to make it, and then they were just making stuff up on the fly so that they can just be done writing it because they really didn't want to be a part of it. Um, it's an
It's
interesting
weird how you
theory
could.
though.
Oh, all right. It's I mean, yeah. I didn't think it was really something that was confirmed in the OG film. I just thought it would have been a cool headcanon for in universe.
Yeah, I mean, it is a cool
Uh,
headcanon for it. It makes sense, right? Because it almost makes it seem like it was all planned out. Because you're right. I mean, Laurie's the first girl, or like the first one he starts to like follow and stalk, right? Like when she goes and drops off the key at the Myers house at the beginning, that's when he first comes in contact with her, and then from there he just keeps stalking her, and then sometimes stalking Tommy. And then that's how he sees all of her friends and starts going after them too. So she's obviously like the main catalyst for like what kicks off all of what happened because she went up to the Myers house. Um, but I don't think, yeah, I don't think that was the intention. It's just like a cool little like headcanon thing, like you can, you know, think about, especially if you were somebody who likes the sequels to this movie.
yeah, I do think the Blumhouse trilogy is. I thought it definitely had a lot more heart put into it than apparently from what I'm hearing of these alleged sequels by the same writer.
Yeah, well, not all of them were the same writers. Like they very much differ. Because again, John Carpenter leaves. Well, I think he had some involvement with Halloween 4. I don't, I can't confirm that. Halloween 2, I know he helped write though, and then after that, he's either completely leaves or with every new movie, he just starts doing less and less. Um, but you're right. Like I will say the Blumhouse trilogy at least feels like because you know there was all one crew of people making it, you know, one writer, one director, and so they got to just stick with their vision versus like each new movie had like say a different writer and a different director, so it took different directions, and it was kind of like the sequel trilogy for Star Wars. You know, it's like each movie had a
Yeah,
different vision,
yeah.
so it didn't work. um
See here.
yeah, let's look at the
Uh,
comment or some chats first before we move on. Just run before William gets you. Okay, well, I don't know why I read that. I tend to read these things before I actually look at them.
that's a little dangerous.
Yeah, I know.
See right here.
Mm,
Doesn't mean it's us, but please don't talk about the Silver Eyes trilogy, will it? Okay.
I don't know what Jana is talking about. You're
Jenna,
kind of going off on a random tangent.
Jenna is yapping, bro. What are all these chats? See right here.
Oh no, there's a conversation about the Silver Eyes, I think, going on in chat. That's why.
Oh, okay. So Zane, we're still on watching Halloween 2 tonight. I guess sure if I got nothing else going on. Yeah.
It's a good
I guess
sequel.
I guess I'll fill you in later when I watch it.
Halloween
Let's
2 is a
see.
good movie. I like it. It kind of takes the first one and just amps up everything a bit. So like whereas uh the these movies were like in houses, you know, that one takes place in like a hospital and the kills are a bit more gory and gruesome and stuff. So but it's a really good sequel. It feels like it's not just a shitty cash grab of the and like a rehash of the first one. It innovates on it, which is kind of cool.
Let's see here. But next after Linda's death is where we get to the main event, where we
Yes,
see
the
the
main
lights are
two.
turned off and the hen walks into the wolf's den.
Yes. So
And
Lori puts Tommy and Lindsay to bed, and then she decides to go over to see what's going on at Lindsay's house with Annie, Bob, and Linda, because she's obviously something's not right over there. So she goes to check it out. And for a while, she's just wandering around, kind of yelling their names, thinking it's a prank, right? Because nobody answers her, but she really isn't convinced something's wrong. She just thinks they're messing with her. And Lori's been shown to be, the Girl Scout. She's a very goody two shoes, smart girl, kind of shy, doesn't really, go on like isn't like all the other kids. She's the trope of your the scream queen for a movie, right? Your main female protagonist. And so she thinks they're messing with her because they like to mess with her because that's the friend dynamic. Were you gonna say something? I could hear your mic kind of popping sometimes.
no, that's my mic is just pretty sensitive.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure. So she's wandering around throughout the house, and again, it takes a while before she finally like comes in contact with Michael. And again, really, they show a lot of restraint, which I got to give it to them. Most, especially with later slasher movies, the trope is just, now let's just get straight to the killing. So you got to see it. But they take their time here and really build up the tension and suspense. So she goes upstairs because she literally hears movement from upstairs, like footsteps hitting the floor, and then she decides to go up there, still, hoping at this point it's Bob, Annie, and Linda, but is kind of getting a bit more worried and nervous now as she continues to search for them. So she goes upstairs.
And then she goes to the bedroom. She goes to the
the only
bedroom.
lit bedroom too. So again, Michael's setting up a trap for her. It's the only bedroom with light in it, and the door's tilted open so you can see light rays coming from it. So she opens the door, and what does she find? And she finds Annie, her corpse, sprawled out on the bed, and above her head, I forgot to mention this too. I'm so bad at describing things, but earlier in the movie,
the tombstone.
yeah, I know that's such a big key detail, and I completely forgot about it. I'm so terrible at describing things. But earlier in the movie, when Dr. Loomis gets into Haddonfield, he decides to go to the gravesite of Michael's older sister, Judith Myers, the one he murdered back at the beginning of the movie. And when he's with the groundskeeper, they find her tombstone, or they find her grave, and they realize that her tombstone's missing. And that's confirmation to Loomis that Michael Myers is here. He's come home. And now we cut back to where we're at now. And it was obviously Michael who took the tombstone. And when Lori enters the room and sees Annie's dead body sprawled out on the bed, above her head is the tombstone of Judith Myers. And so she's just starts freaking out. Like she gets super terrified, hands to the mouth, crying, just like really, really scared because one of her best friends is dead. She's seeing the dead body. And then I think it's Bob, right? Bob's next. She like goes up against the room. I believe that's the bathroom. She goes up to like the outline of, I believe it's the bathroom. It's some other room within that room. And then
no. Yeah. Bob falls from the thing.
Bob's corpse comes swinging from the ceiling out of nowhere. Michael's such a troll. He knows what he's doing.
I am not gonna lie. I was not scared once. Like that scene literally had me laughing off my seat the whole time.
Yeah, they're not very scary. Because like I said, the Halloween movie, or at least this one, unless you're somebody who just scares easily, or you watch this movie as a kid, it's not that scary, because at this point we've seen way more scary things. And when you really look at all the stuff, because it's a cheap movie, so it looks cheap as well. But so Bob's corpse comes flying from the ceiling, hanging upside down too by his feet. And then this is the one that's the dumbest, and the actress who played Linda, clearly not, I don't want to say she's a bad actor, but she's definitely not good at acting like a dead body. And so like she goes up against like some wardrobe, and the door flings open on the wardrobe, and you see Linda's body stuffed in there. And the face, do you remember her face? She looks like she has googly eyes. It looks so dumb.
I think I do, yeah.
Here, let me see if I can find it. We don't need the audio for this one, so I don't have to
I think
worry
he
about
was
that.
just dead, like wide open. I think
Yeah,
I think his eyes
she
were,
was
like,
just,
wide. I
her
think
mouth was just gaped open and her eyes were all like going cross-eyed to look like she's dead. It just looks so cheesy.
this is what look at this. This is what Michael was doing after he set up those traps. This is how he felt.
Oh, I just realized I'm streaming still. I'm streaming Discord. Wait, did you send me something or?
No, I'm screen sharing. This is what Michael was
Okay,
doing after setting up those traps.
Let me turn off mine. Here, chat. Here, do you mind if I show chat or?
Sure, go ahead.
This is what Michael was doing, chat. Like, he was really stoked that his whole plan was coming together right now.
And yes, I absolutely did log on to Fortnite just for this one bit.
This is him after he got all those kills, and this is him as his plan was unfolding. It's like, oh yes, it's all going according.
I am the mastermind.
I'm genius. Oh wait,
Dancing to Women by Doja Cat.
I'm stupid. I didn't even. I don't think I even showed chat because I had something covering it by accident. Hold on. I'm so dumb. This is it, chat. This is what we're laughing about. This was what Mike was doing off screen the whole time, especially after every kill.
Just straight up Michael dancing to Woman by Doja Cat.
Having a good time.
Oh wait! I gotta stop that copyright. Wait, I gotta stop that. Hold on.
It's surprising they didn't hear it actually, but you're right. I appreciate the concern.
You think the skin is good?
It is a nice looking skin. I'll give it to him. I wish the jumpsuit was a bit more bluish, because I think common misconception actually. I think the jumpsuit has a like a dark blue color to it, not necessarily a gray. Actually, no, I'm lying. I just saw. I'm looking at the clip right now. Never mind. It's definitely a dark gray suit. I'm just retarded.
Dude, like, the back bling too is literally the jack-o'-lantern from the intro, and you pull the pickaxe out of it.
Oh yeah, it is the jack-o'-lantern. What an interesting intro too. Just the intro alone of like the credits with the pumpkin. And do you know
yeah, we didn't even talk about the intro. That was
I like to get
kind of an unnerving intro where it slowly goes into the jack-o'-lantern and then you hear kids cheering in the background Halloween. Like that is something.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's actually pretty important too. Like I said, I'm really terrible at this. This is why I have to write scripts for my stuff versus improv it.
Yeah.
But
did you write anything in advance?
Just a few notes, just like bullet point though, like topics more so than like actual like things that I want, just like things to talk about rather than like more in-depth stuff, I guess, if that makes sense.
But what do you think Michael was? Okay, here's the question though. Here's something that I asked to why when this scene happened. Why did Michael take a random woman he killed, put her on a bed, displayed her like that, and then put his sister's tombstone on her?
Yeah, I really don't know, to be honest.
All that display for a random kill group? That actually kind of unintentionally feeds more into the Michael knowing Laurie is his sister thing. Because
it 100% does, and I think that's why a lot of people were like ran with it for so long, is because like you look at Halloween 1 after the revelation in Halloween 2, and you're like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense because look at all these things alluding to it. So it makes like that's why it stuck so well for a long time. The concept that they were siblings. But,
oh, that's so weird. When it's like Scott, everyone thinks, oh, he had a plan the whole time. Nope. It's just a lot of coincidences.
Exactly, though, right? No, that's true, though. Everybody thought it was like all the planned out from the beginning, but in reality, that's just not the case. But it's impressive how it all came together. I mean, shoot, even the MCU technically wasn't fully planned out. Like the first two phases were not intentionally supposed to Like it was an idea, right? Like a cool concept that they implemented into the movies, but the whole concept of like Infinity War and Endgame and Thanos and all that, like
That was
that was
not
not
planned at all.
intentional. That was not originally intentional, but things lined up perfectly. And then once they saw how perfect it kind of was, they're like, all right, let's start building upon this, which is then why we see Thanos at the end of the first Avengers movie. Because
I
now they
do
were
think
starting to
that
build up to it.
yeah, and it's one of those original films that made was such a big success. I'm thankful that Avengers was legit one of the world's biggest box office breakers because they released Avengers Age of Ultron, which if you don't know, is my absolute favorite MCU film of all time. Ultron is my favorite
Really?
villain.
That's like the
Yes,
least liked Avenger movie, I think, for most people.
Ultron is without a doubt my favorite villain in
Huh.
the MCU universe. He was done extremely
Really?
well.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Like
Because
I remember watching this trailer when I was a kid and have the whole I had strings but now I'm free in a kid's voice in the
yeah,
background of the
that was
trailer.
cool.
That was eerie. And
The
then
hype,
Ultron's dialogue freaking slaps.
yeah, the hype
Yes.
for Age of Ultron was incredible. Like I remember that because that was also around the time. Oh no, it was around the time they announced it, but they weren't actually going to make it because that was like the year where they announced movies, and then 3 years later those movies came out. But that's also the time when they announced Batman v Superman. I remember, but I Ultron is probably my favorite Marvel. Like I'm not a huge Marvel fan. Like I know things about Marvel. I mainly from like cartoons I watched as a kid, and I Ultron is my favorite, not just villain but character in Marvel. Um, and I don't hate the Age of Ultron one, but I was kind of disappointed by it because I kind of like the idea of like there's a show I watched as a kid, a cartoon called Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It's a really good cartoon. Um and in it, Ultron, the same thing as like the movies. He thinks humanity's bad and the only way to ensure peace on Earth is to wipe out humanity. But he's very robotic still, and he still acts. He doesn't really have or express emotions. He's very just, well, I know I've said it multiple times already, but it's just true. He's robotic. He acts very robotic, but he still has that mission of wanting to wipe out humanity, and he's just cold and callous, like because he's just emotionless. There's nothing. Whenever he's killing, whenever speech he gives, there's nothing behind it. It's just dead voice, robotic, and it's just I like that a lot. Especially the voice actor. There was Tom Kane, I think is his, yeah, Tom Kane, who also, funny enough, does Yoda in the Clone Wars. But that's just getting off topic even more. But I
Yeah,
was just kind
yeah.
of disappointed with the old, because I think
The
they took I think Ultron and Age of Ultron was just like an evil Tony Stark, which I was like, it's a cool concept, but like I don't know, for my expectations, I guess it just didn't live up to them.
I really actually did like how charismatic he was. I really like that they took his mouth design and actually like closed the mouth together in order to make it work like a human mouth. I understand
Mm-hmm.
why people would hate that, but I actually think it's a clever use of the design without altering it too much. And since you and I are both Christian, I think I really loved his dialogue resolving around God, being like one of his lines being, "There have been dozens of extinctions on a Earth planetary level before even the dinosaurs got there.
Yeah,
When the
no, you're
Earth
right. That was
starts
a
to
cool
settle,
concept that I completely forgot about.
when the Earth starts to settle, God throws a stone at it, and believe me, he's winding up." That's awesome.
But
Like
it's
he makes
cool
multiple
because,
comments like that.
yeah, well, you're right. I completely forget. That is kind of cool. Or I did like that aspect of the movie because it's almost like he's trying to justify why he's doing it, right? But he's also hypocritical because unlike he mentions many times that, like, God is the reason for the previous extinctions on Earth. But now here he is almost playing God by wanting to be the one to cause the extinction. So it's like it's hypocritical and heretical, right? Like he like showing the hypocrisy among the character and like the flaw of him, which is also a really interesting element that you reminded me about. I completely forgot. It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. So I completely forgot about the all those quotes he says to try and like justify his reasonings for why he should wipe out humanity.
You know, this church is built in the direct center of the city. The elders decreed it just so everyone could be equally close to God. I like that. The geometry of belief. Like, I find it so ironic that he's a robot, someone without a soul, taking genuine interest into a religious practice. That is really interesting.
Yeah, that is a cool element. I do have to give the movies. I completely forgot about that. It's just I don't know. I just like the idea of the soulless robot, and obviously he's still a soulless robot, but I also an emotionless robot, and he's very much like you say. He's very charismatic in this one, very expressive, which I think you kind of had to make him like that for a movie versus like a comic or a cartoon. So, but I mean, it was good. I like the movie. It's definitely not my favorite of the Avengers movies, but I still think it's entertaining. And if I saw it on TV, I'd definitely stop to watch it.
Yeah, I respect that. What is your favorite then?
Infinity War. I think that movie is
Ah,
nearly perfect.
I loved Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah, I just I just I just prefer the Ultron one because I like it when the whole adventure is in one packaged film and it's
Yeah,
done
that's
really well.
true.
But I do love Infinity War and Endgame though. I remember being in theaters for Endgame and I lost my mind when all the cool stuff happened. But anyways, dear gosh, where our autistic talking is going off the rails. Back to Lori seeing the corpses.
No, it's fine. I mean, this is like I said, this is just like a casual, fun discussion. Like I don't mind if it goes off a bit as well. So it's perfectly fine. But yeah. So to go back to Halloween, um, so she goes and she finds the corpses of her friends, and then she like runs out of the room, but then she like leans against the wall, right? And there's an open door to a room. It's dark in there. This is also incredible shot where it does like a close-up of her leaning on the door frame, right, kind of like crying still, like trying to grasp what she just saw. And then in the darkness of the room you can see Michael Myers' mask start to fade in the darkness, and it's just, and then there's that like, I forget that there's a term for it, but I'm not good with, again, with like terminology for music, but like a sound that plays as it like reveals like a da da da, like showing Michael is present. You're like, where is he? And then you notice the mask in the darkness of the room, and you're like, oh shit, he's right there. It's just so freaking good. And then he inevitably steps out as she tries to walk away, and then he misses her with his knife and manages to just
Yeah.
cut her arm. I don't know how he missed an easy shot like that.
I remember seeing that when with the buddies, and I was like, I saw that moment, and my first reaction was, "You missed! How did you miss? She was right in front of you. How
Definitely had
did
to
you
nerf him.
miss?"
Definitely had to nerf him a bit so that rest of the movie could happen.
It's just like that threw like that was the thing that caught me off guard most that he missed.
I know. It's yeah. Again, the movie had a cheap, low budget movie. They did what they could. Yeah, no, that scene is. I don't know how maybe you could say it was the dark, but I feel like his eyes would have adjusted by then to where he definitely would have been should have been able to see her fully, so he could stab her with
It
it.
just
But
does he like
whatever.
does he not understand the concept of baggy clothes? He wears like a tight jumpsuit. Does he think that people wear baggy clothes because there's actually more flesh on them? Does he think that
Maybe he thought she was jacked. Maybe he thought,
like
oh, she's got some biceps on her. I gotta
I
swing
gotta go for
wide
the
for this
bicep
one.
next. Yeah, that makes the most sense. Definitely not the neck or anything. Go
No,
for
or
the
just the
muscle.
back, like the back of the chest. Do like pull a worm tongue on Saruman and just stab him in the back. Could have been easy. Christopher Lee could have showed him how to do it properly, apparently, because he knows what it's like to stab somebody in the back since he used to work for the SAS or Special Forces.
Dear Lord, I'm freaking crying. Oh gosh. Yeah, my God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die myself.
Well, there's an interesting question, just to go off topic a bit. But Aquamary asks, "Have you two seen the horror, or do you know about the horror movie Weapons, that new one that just came out?" Have you seen it?
Oh, I haven't seen that.
You haven't? Oh, okay, I've seen it. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good movie. I recommend it sometime.
What is it? Is it where guns just grow legs and arms and pick up guns for themselves?
Yes, absolutely. Well, it's weird because the movie's called Weapons, but I think once you watch it, you'll kind of like question why it was called that versus something else. Because like, there's a huge theme about like, um, so without spoiling too much, it's like there's this witch who enters this town and she starts to like leech off of the chaos and sorrows of the town. Because if you I mean, it's in the trailer, but what happens is she convinces a lot of the kids of the town to just kind of like one night get up and just run into the darkness of the night, and none of them are ever seen again. And she kind of just like feeds to some extent off the misery and chaos of the town from like the parents, because the parents are all accusing the teacher of the students, because they all come from one classroom. All the kids who disappeared happened to be in one teacher's, like all in a classroom together, and so they're blaming the teacher. And it's pretty good. It's really good, and it's told in parts. So like you'll follow one character, and then you'll come to a point where it stops, and then it'll start following another character, and then it comes to a point where it stops, and it just keeps doing that, and then it builds the story off of that. So it's almost like you can put the pieces together yourself or get context for why something's happening later in the movie because it's linked to a different character that hasn't been shown yet or whatnot. It's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. It's not like super scary, but it's a really good movie. I think it'll be one of those remembered horror movies in the future.
Does it utilize the pen is mightier than the sword tactic, or like anything like that?
No, not really. Not really.
Oh, okay.
There's
Because
very much sword
I was
fighting.
about to say, I would find it very clever to have a movie called Weapons and have the movie contain like people like having words as their weapons. I mean, that sounds
Oh
kind of
yeah,
corny,
yeah, yeah.
but if
I know
used
what
in
you
the right
mean.
way,
I mean,
I
there's
think
some
it'll
elements to that, but that's not the main focus. Not at all.
work here.
Also, HM Music, Magma's called a stinger. That's right. That's the word. Oh, thank you, HM Music. He tends to know his horror music, so he corrected me on the stinger that plays when Michael Myers' mask is revealed in the darkness of that room. That's what that's called. That's what that music beat is called. It's a stinger. But yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. The more you know.
Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Anyways,
Yeah, Michael
uh,
misses the easiest shot in his life. We're
I
talking
know.
tactical shotgun right in front of the last dude kind of miss.
There's
But
that
yeah.
saying, right? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, but he took the shot and he still fucking missed because he's a dumb shit idiot. But yeah, so he cuts her arm. She turns around and just screams, like becoming the scream queen she is. You know, the great scream queen, Laurie Strode, and she falls. This is a 2-story house, by the way. So she falls off not the balcony, but I guess she just falls over the edge of the staircase, right? And then falls down the stairs and doesn't break her leg, but it's very much implied she hurts it really, really badly because there's like a limp now. And then we get a cool shot of Michael walking. He doesn't walk down the stair straight away, but he like gets to the top of the stairs and just like looks down at her with the knife in hand. He's aura farming for sure, 100%. Um, and then she tries to run away. The front door, I don't remember. I think she tries the front door and it's locked, so she runs to the back, and then she locks the door in the kitchen, and she's trying to get out the back door. But when she was trying to like look for her friends before she found their dead bodies, Michael managed to put a rake on in front of the door, so she can't open it. You know, in the front of that glass door, she can't open it. And so what she has to do is use her hand. And actually, now that I think about it, the way she did it was really stupid. She almost makes her seem like she's supernatural, like super strong. She just, with the palm of her hand, slaps the glass and it breaks and open. She's able to move the rake and run out of the house. I didn't think
Yeah,
about that. It doesn't make sense that her palm of her hand was able. She must be really strong.
me and Bio were, before we saw the rake, me and Bio were like, you can unlock the thing from the inside. What are you doing? Just unlock the door and go. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
it's
There's a
easy to
rake
miss
there.
the rake, like it's because she, in the panic of the scene, and it's while she's trying to get out, Michael Myers is busting through the door to the kitchen to try and get to her, so it's constantly cutting back and forth, so it is easy. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I had to burp. It's easy to miss the rake that's keeping the door shut. But she inevitably gets out and she runs into the front yard and is screaming bloody murder, just trying to get somebody to help her. And there's this actually really interesting scene, which, like, I don't know, I just think it's just an interesting topic of like how ordinary people would react to something like that. Because she goes next door and she's banging on the front door of the neighbors to like maybe get them to come out and help her. And they see her, right, like they turn on the porch light and they look out the window to see her, and she's just screaming bloody murder, like just trying to get somebody to help her. And then the people are like, no, this bitch is crazy, so they turn off the lights and close the blinds and then just leave her to pretty much die, which is like but at the same time, like, I don't blame those people for that, right? Because like if there was somebody in my
It's
neighborhood
Halloween
doing
night.
that, yeah, well, like, what do you mean
It's
by that though?
Halloween
Like, you
night.
think it's a prank
It's
or?
Halloween night. Like I would open the door if someone acted like that, but at the same time, another point, it's Halloween night. You have any idea what kind of sick pranks people would pull that during that day?
Yeah,
Like
that's
people pull sick pranks
true.
like that on a regular basis, but it's Halloween night. People do stupid stuff like that.
That is true. It could just be a prank, but maybe that's also why you could argue they didn't answer it, because they're like, oh, it's just some dumb kid and some kids pulling a prank, and then that's why, So we don't know the reason why they didn't answer. We just know they didn't, right? And just to kind of show a bit of human psychology at work there. It's like, well, what would you do if you heard some teenage girl screaming bloody murder running around the front the neighborhood, right? It's just kind of interesting. I don't know if that was the intention for the scene, but I thought it was cool. Maybe I'm overanalyzing it though.
Also, me and my friends were yelling at the Lori to run down like the sidewalk or something, or just run away from the neighborhood, because like it kept going back to Michael, and he was taking his time, bro. He
Oh,
was
yeah, that's
slowly
right.
walking to him, like like she was going from house to house, constantly looking back, and Michael was like, oh, oh, oh. Oh.
That's so
It's
funny you
like-
mentioned that, because I forgot. Like, it also took him a long time to just get out of the house, right? So like he busts through the
he was
door into the kitchen to try and kill her. She runs out, but he doesn't follow right away for some reason. He just like
he takes
stays
a full
away.
minute to just slowly walk her direction.
Yeah,
Like she
and
could just run the town and he'd be gone. Like
yeah, exactly.
he was doing the SpongeBob Squidward walk. Like he was going like the
Stepping on the beach, doot, 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 doot. Stepping on the beach, doot, doot, doot.
like 1 mile an hour, half an hour. Yeah, he was really yeah, snail mode.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. Again, low budget movie. Probably were like. I think it came down to a time budget too. It wasn't an easy filming. It wasn't an easy like production. It kind of took a while for things to happen, and they didn't know if things were gonna work out. The morale was not very high in the making of this movie as time went on. But yeah, I mean, old movie, cheap budget. I give it a pass. It pretty much is an indie horror movie if you think about it. Like, it's not. It ain't no like budgeted. It's not like if Warner Brothers made the movie and it was like this. I'd be like, no, dude, this is inexcusable.
Imagine if Michael was just like, like if he was like sprinting towards them, like like sprinting towards her, just like Flint Lockwood style with the officer. He was just charging and running towards her. Instead, he was just slowly walking, so where anybody can just get away from him very easily.
I see. Hold on, somebody in chat. I don't know if they. Who's being rude? Oh, somebody else in chat was being rude to somebody else. I thought they
Yeah,
were
it's
saying
also
we were rude, because I also saw somebody mention how come they're not reading chat very often. Probably should have mentioned
yeah,
this sooner, guys. But again, my fault. Next time, if we do another stream like this, I'll make sure to mention it at the beginning. But because we're talking about a movie, we might not be looking at chat, right away. So it's if we miss your
I mean,
messages, we're not ignoring you. We're just we're trying to talk about the movie, and we forget to look at chat sometimes.
Oh
So,
no, I caught it. Someone was being
oh,
rude to
okay.
some random person in the chat, and I sent their ass for 5 minutes away.
Oh, okay, okay,
Would
cool. I
have-
thought somebody thought we were being rude to them by not looking at their messages, and so that's why I wanted to clarify. So I didn't know it was
Well,
somebody else being rude to somebody in chat.
well,
My
there's
mistake.
nothing wrong with not answering everybody, especially when you're with someone talking, and then you got 30 people. No, it went from
20,
29
about
to 20,
20.
but you got like 20 people going on and chatting some stuff, so missing some stuff is acceptable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought I didn't. I wanted to clarify at first at the beginning of the stream that like that, but I forgot because I'm an idiot. So I thought I'd mention it now. But so yeah, Lori runs back to the Tommy Doyle's house, and she, I don't think they show it. They just say it, like she just lost her keys in all of that commotion. Like they just fell out of her pocket somehow, which is funny because she's wearing like tight jean pants from like that era. So I don't know how keys would just slip out of her pants like that. So, but whatever. She loses her keys, and then she's banging on the door trying to get Tommy or one of the kids to wake up and come let her in. And this is like you said, Eluzal, this is where Michael's just slowly taking his time. He's not even like that's something. I mean, you've noticed it too with even the Blumhouse movies. That's just something about Michael, right? Like he's all, or not just him, but even like Jason Voorhees. Like they don't rush to like run to like get their kill. They just slowly walk to like walk up to their enemy like in no worry, no rush. They're like almost like, oh, I'm gonna get this kill. There's no point to bother. But it
Like
yeah,
hold
it
on,
looks weird.
look. Look at this. Imagine if Michael ran after her like this. Let me know if you can see the screen.
Oh, let me see this. All right. I don't think you're streaming whatever you're showing.
See right here. See, bam, bam. I think you're good.
I still don't see anything. It doesn't say you're. Oh wait, here it is. Sorry. Let me show. Let me get this for the chat as well. I won't mess it up this time, chat. I promise you'll see it. All right, let's see. If you have
Because
the
there's this
animatronics can hear you.
there's this one fan game, right, where it has like you're playing as this character, you're playing as a guy, it's free roam and all that, and there's one weird Fredbear that literally sprints to you like lightning speed, and he can like auto detect your voice. So
Oh, I think I know what game
imagine
you're
if
talking about.
imagine if Michael went at this speed.
Shh, chat, don't say anything.
Oh yeah, no, that would look so stupid.
Chat, you gotta be
I mean, it
quiet.
looks stupid in this game too, so it's like,
I'm scared of you. I'm scared of you. Right there. I just want to say, you might look like Queso.
he might look like Queso, bro. That's vile.
All right, enough of that.
Yeah, but I mean,
He
it
just-
makes sense, right? You're right. It would look really dumb if he were to just sprint at him like that, or her at like that. That's part of the eeriness is he's slowly walking up to you, to kill you. He's like, no problem whatsoever.
To be fair, if I was in that kind of setting and I saw a man dressed up like that, like running towards me, like I'd be terrified. I would run too.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I think it was Michael Bay. Don't quote me on this, chat, but they did a remake for Friday the 13th back in like the 2010s, and Jason also walks like Michael Myers. Like he slowly walks up to the people he's going to kill. But in that movie, they have him sprint, and the design of Jason combined with the fact that he sprints at you like a linebacker in like football, it actually is kind of terrifying. Like it's like an animal bum rushing you, and it's actually really creepy. But again, I don't think you can make that work with Michael Myers per se. You have to change up his design like you did Jason a bit to make it work really well. But yeah, so Tommy wakes up, just to get back on track of the movie. Tommy wakes up and then he goes to open the door, and then Lori bum rushes in there, and she's like screaming at him. He's panicking because like he's like, oh, was that the boogeyman? is that the boogeyman? And then she's like, shut the fuck up, Tommy, and get back upstairs and lock that damn door. And so he goes, and she shuts off the lights, which I would not have done personally. I think shutting off the lights was a terrible idea. But she notices the windows also open. So she's like, oh no, Michael Myers is in here. And then she just like curls up into a ball by the couch. And she grabs these giant needles used for sewing. And that's when Michael, like, his head lifts up behind the couch. And again, easy shot. You could argue she heard him and dodged this time. You know, you can make the argument for this one. But he misses again. He easily misses another kill. And then she stabs him in the neck with this needle. And it goes in pretty deep, too. But he pulls it out, and then he collapses on the ground. And it's implied that, oh, she got him. You know, I don't know if he's dead, but he's unconscious at least. And so she takes up the knife and looks over at his corpse, at his body, sprawled out behind the couch. And because this is one of the first slasher movies, the rules of slasher movies don't really apply. You know, like, you remember how, like, in Scream, in the first Scream movie, there's all these rules to a horror movie, and you never leave the killer's body on the ground. You finish off that motherfucker. But she didn't. But this is before the rules were established. And so what? You know what she does? She just drops the knife and then goes upstairs to go make sure the kids are okay.
To be fair, I feel like if any regular person was legit stabbed in the neck by a long blade like that needle she was holding, it looked like it was pretty big.
Yeah, it was large.
I feel like any regular person would not be operational for a while if that were to happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't think, maybe it's just me, but I don't, even though you're right, it was a big needle and it did go pretty deep into his neck. I still don't think, I think I would have took that knife and finished him off personally, just because, like, I don't think that would have killed him. I think it maybe unconscious him, sure, or make him unconscious, sure, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. But anyways, she goes up to make sure the kids are okay, and they're fine, you know. But then, bam!
You
Michael
can't
Myers is
kill the
behind him.
boogeyman.
You can't kill the
He's right there.
He is right there. You can see his shadow coming up the stairs too in that scene, because, like, it's a shot of her, right? And then as she's talking to Tommy, she's like, "Was it the boogeyman? Did you get?" He's like, "Is he gonna hurt us?" No, he's not gonna hurt you anymore. Why? It's like, because I killed him. And then it's like, you can't kill the boogeyman. And bam, there he is right behind him.
He's just right there.
Yep.
And then Laurie goes into the closet. Laurie then retreats into the closet, tries to tie it up and tries to be quiet, but Michael, like, does check the closet, finds that it doesn't open, and he just breaks through it with, like, his knife and then his bare hands, as Laurie keeps giving herself away with the screaming. But it's a really cool scene.
Yeah.
So I'll forgive.
Another iconic scene too, because of, like, or an iconic shot, because the light, like, you're right, it's like this, it's not like a closet per se. It's, well, it doesn't have like a door, right? It's like one of those, I don't know how to describe it, but it's not like a normal door. It's almost like a, I can't think of the kind of doors those are, where it doesn't, like, shut and lock. It's just like a, I don't know, but regardless, it's a very thin wooden door, right? Like, anybody could really break it down if they wanted to. But he punches through, like, the wood, and then there's a bunch of, like, of those, like, wired hangers, like shirt hangers everywhere. And so he's trying to, like, slash down at her, but while he's doing that, he's getting caught. He hits the light, so it's flickering. It's just like this really cool, like, almost seizure warning kind of scene of, like, you see Michael for a few seconds when the light turns on, and then it's back to pitch black and you can only see the black silhouette, and it's just like, it's so good. An iconic shot of him trying to reach in there and grab her. There's so many, I've seen so much artwork based on that shot.
Then she, like, and then she takes the wired hanger and then just pokes him in the eye, and then he falls over to the ground again. That felt like, I know it is devastating. It's metal being shoved in your eye, but from the way it played out, it kind of looked like a weak, like a level 1 attack. It looked like a poke.
Well, okay, so she stabs the eye, and then he drops his knife, and that's when she picks the knife up and stabs him in the chest. So that's why he collapses that time. It wasn't because of
I remember now.
Yeah. So he's not a pussy. He didn't just get hit with one little, like, 1+1 damage and then fall over. Like, he got pretty messed up in that scene. And this time I can understand.
My eye.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, anybody would be like my eye. I mean, it's just, but it's not the reason he went. He collapsed. She stabbed him again. Um, so she stabs him, and this time I can kind of understand that she left the knife, because like this time she actually stabbed him in the chest. It's like, oh, no way he's gonna come back to like stand up after that, right? But she gets Tommy and Lindsay, and she tells them, look, I need you two to run down to the neighbor's house and go tell them to call the police and send them here. And at first they don't want to go, but because they're scared, they're kids, they're like 10-year-old children. But she convinces them to go, and so they go screaming out of the house, and that's when Dr. Loomis, who happens to be walking by, because they're searching for Michael the whole time. The whole movie after the scene of him at the Myers house is him walking around trying to find where Michael Myers is. And he sees the kids run out of the house, and he thinks he's like, well, they must be in there. And while Lori is staying at the house, she's just like leaning, trying to catch her breath. She's leaning on the pillar of the door, and it's this cool shot of the whole room. So she's in front of the camera, or like right at the front of the camera, and Michael's corpse is in the background. You can see it laying there, and then out of nowhere, it sits up without having to, like, I don't know, how would you describe it? He like sits up without like using his arms to lift him. He looks like Dracula coming out of his coffin.
Yeah, exactly that. Like it was no effort. Like that injury didn't do anything.
He's got a great ab routine for his gym sessions, and so he was just able to just easily sit up with no help, like not needing his arms whatsoever. It was really, really cool. And then he just turns and looks at her. It's like really cool. Again, I'm geeky. I love this movie, so forgive me if I'm geeking out like a 13-year-old schoolgirl right now. But
no, I get it, man. I get it. I feel the same way towards other things too.
Yeah, such a cool shot, and just showing like this dude is not human. He looks like a human. He's obviously a guy wearing a mask, but there's something far, far darker and more evil going on here. And then so she gets up to walk out, and that's when he gets up too, begins to strangle her, and that's when Loomis shows up at the top of the stairs. Or yeah, he runs upstairs and see what's going on. And there's this interesting shot where, to free herself from Michael's grip, she lifts up the mask and kind of takes it off, and he panics, so he like lets her go. And you actually see his face, which is surprising. I didn't expect that when I saw the movie for the first time. And he looks like a normal dude. I mean, besides his messed up eye, because she stabbed him in the eye, he looks like any other guy. He's normal. He's not like Jason. He's not deformed or anything. He's just a normal dude who's doing these things. And then he puts the mask back on. Loomis shoots him. He goes flying back into the room, and then he rushes into the room to try and finish him off. Sees Michael standing there, unloads his gun into him, and Michael goes flying off the balcony and lands in the front yard. And that's when Lori looks up at Loomis, says, "Was that the boogeyman?" He turns to her and says, "As a matter of fact, that was." And as he goes to look over the edge to see Michael's corpse, he's gone. Just gone.
He's out of there.
No trace of him. No trace of him whatsoever. And then
that was.
Oh, go ahead.
And then it cuts. And then that's the end scene, and then the credits roll.
Well, it is. Yeah, it's the end. It's pretty much the end. But then they do this really cool thing. So they show Lori crying, right? And then it cuts to different parts of the house, right? So it shows like the kitchen. It shows like some of the bedrooms. And you hear Michael Myers breathing while it's showing you all these different shots of the like the setting, of the where the film's been taking place. Just like he could be anywhere. Like he's obviously not there. You hear his breathing still, but you don't see him, and it's showing all these different places that the movie took place in. And then it cuts back to the Myers house, and then it ends. And it's just like freaking terrifying. I'm getting chills just talking about it right now. I'm not gonna lie, no joke. I genuinely can feel the hairs on my arm standing up right now. It's such a it's so good, so good. And that's the end of the movie pretty much.
Yeah, I did forget about that detail. Thank you for pointing that out. And did you like shift over to multiple different things? The thing is, when the movie was close to ending, I had to go use the restroom, and since I had a spicy ramen earlier that day, I knew that if I went to go, I was not gonna see the ending. So
well, that's fair. That makes sense. Hey man, I would have done the exact. No, I wouldn't. I would have shat myself and kept one. No, I'm kidding. That's how dedicated of a fan I am.
But wow. That definitely was a really cool ending. It felt like another one of those like unintentional sequel build up endings too.
Yeah,
Like it
it
just
does, right?
disappeared and vanished. Like
It 100% does.
why does this movie portray that there's gonna be a sequel if the person doesn't want to make a sequel?
I know, right? Well, okay, so now this is where we can start getting into like talking about the characters a bit, especially like what might like the themes of like Michael Myers, for example, right? Because I mean, I'd be a broken record at this point, just talking about like how he's not human. I think we can very much he's not a normal human at least. Like there's something else going on with him because he's surviving all these like death blowing attacks on him. He doesn't speak at all. He doesn't have any emotions. He wears that mask which pretty much is his face and he wants to cover up the human part of his face. It's just
Oh,
he's pure evil. Like he's a representation of pure evil. And I think that's what the point of that ending was supposed to be. Like he could be anywhere. Evil can be anywhere. It could be in your room, it could be outside, it could be in your neighborhood. And it can come in any kind of shape or form. Like again, like he's a normal human being, right? Like when he was a kid, it's implied he's just a normal kid. Normal kid. No problems at home, nothing. Maybe like normal kid problems, but like nothing that would lead to such psychotic behavior. But then he just kills his sister for no reason. And then as he becomes an adult, he keeps killing more and more. It's like no rhyme or reason. Evil can be like anything, it could be anyone, it can be anywhere. It's just I think that's the overall theme of the movie though, personally.
my thoughts on do you want to talk about thoughts of Michael Myers as a character?
Yeah, go for any of it. Any of it. Talk
All
it
right.
out.
While Michael Myers, I don't know if I would. I honestly don't know whether or not I would consider him my most favorite slasher villain, but he definitely fills up the top
That's
five.
fair.
He is a character because with other serial killers, there are some slashers who actually go deep into the reason of why they do what they do. Pennywise has a reason.
Mhm.
Jason has a bit of a reason if you dig good enough, and Jigsaw has a reason that actually like involves logic to why he does what he does as well. And Michael Myers is a unique case because he's one of those characters where at first glance comes off as one of those characters that doesn't have like some motive to do what he does. He's just evil for the heck of it. So sometimes people can go, "Oh, so there's no substance." But in this movie alone, and through the interactions of Michael throughout the other movies I've seen, there have been multiple things where I've noticed where he actually does have some sentient aspects. You've mentioned this with the Bob moment. When he pinned Bob over to the wall with the knife, he stood there and he was tilting his head and he was looking at it like he was interested into what he has done, or that he is admiring his own work from maybe an artist perspective. It's very subtle, but you can tell that just by someone doing something like this, that there's something more than just some hollow wall. I also find a detail that's really important is that I'm sure there's like one or two exceptions. Aaron mentioned one exception, but throughout all the Michael Myers movies I've seen, even when the kids are present during his killings, Michael doesn't kill the children. He
Yeah.
specifically spares them. So I go, wait a second, what's that about?
Yeah. That is an interesting thing. Well, because you're right. Like in that scene where he comes upstairs and he sees Lori with the two kids and she puts them like tells them to go into one room and lock the door, right? And then that's when she goes into the closet. He could have chose to go into that room, just bust the door down and kill them, but you're right, he chooses to go for her instead. And even in you probably remember this from the in the Blumhouse movies, there's that scene where he goes into that house and kills that woman, and then there's a baby in there in the crib and he like walks up to the crib and looks at it, but he doesn't kill it initially. He then turns his head because he hears people outside laughing, and so he turns and just leaves the house. And I think that's just to imply there's no it's not like he's not picking and choosing on like a bias level, I guess, if that may, like, there's no rhyme or reason. Again, it's like what Loomis said. There's no reason to why he does it, no reason to why he picks those specific people, or at least not until the sequels come out, and then they try to give reasons. But it's all just instinct, and maybe like the thrill of killing. So maybe there's like an element to him that wants more of a challenge, perhaps. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
That's all
remember someone
speculative
saying that.
though.
And even in the Blumhouse films, he's killed. Oh yeah, you mentioned them too. My bad. He killed that one girl where a little girl was right next to her, but he didn't kill her. And then there was
Yeah.
another moment in the second movie where a bunch of young trick-or-treaters went and encountered Michael, and Michael didn't go after any of them. But when
Oh,
one of those trick-or-treaters grew up to be an adult and
yes,
confronted
yes.
Michael during the end of that film, he kills him then.
Hmm. Well, you're right. Yeah, yeah. Because it actually, funny enough, that kid, because that's in the flashback, right, for Halloween Kills in the second movie that you're talking about.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
that kid in that flashback is actually supposed to be one of the bullies too. That bullies Tommy Doyle at the beginning of the movie. But you're right, he doesn't kill him there. But technically there are instances of Michael Myers killing kids. If you recall in the first Blumhouse movie, where there's a dad and his son, and they're driving their truck at night, and they stumble upon the bus that crashed that was taking Michael Myers and a bunch of other patients to a different mental institution. And the dad goes out to see what was wrong, but he doesn't come back. So his kid goes out with the gun too. And his dad's just gone, but he's looking around. And then after he accidentally shoots the doctor in that movie, he runs to back to the car, and he's actually going to try and drive it himself to get out of there because he's scared. And then Michael Myers appears from behind in the back of the truck and chokes him and stabs his neck. So he does kill kids. And then even in the second Blumhouse movie, there's a group of trick-or-treaters, and the people who are some of the people who are hunting Michael in that movie, they see them in the park, and like some of them are playing like on the swings or whatever, and they mention how a creepy man has been staring at them from a distance, and it's Michael, and he's holding a bloody Halloween mask, and they say, hey, that belongs to so and so, which is one of their friends. So you don't see him kill that kid, but off screen he did kill that kid. And so he he will target them. You're right, in this movie he chooses not to for some reason, but there are instances of him just killing kids, kids, adults, elderly, whatever. He has no preference. He just kills whoever.
Maybe he only does it if he thinks it's necessary. Like he set up that whole display thing to let the other people know maybe he's there because those guys later on went to that playground and they found that set piece so that Michael could go ahead and jump those guys. Like I'm just trying to brainstorm.
Uh-huh. I mean, well, that's the thing, right? And I think that's another reason why a lot for despite on a cool level of how cool Michael Myers is in terms of rationality and reasoning. You're right. Like a lot of the other slashers have more of a motive, whereas like with Michael Myers, you could always kind of just chalk up the motive to, oh, he's just evil, so he's just doing it to do it. When it's like, that's not really satisfying, right? Because like it doesn't, like, you look at Freddy Krueger. Why does he do what he does? He's trying to get revenge for the parents of the town that killed him. Chucky, initially he does it because he wants the boy, or he wants his soul to be in the body of somebody else, so he's not in that doll. I don't know what is his name, the Grabber? I don't know
A grabber?
yeah, I don't know what
Um,
his motives are, but it sounds like everybody has motives except Michael. It's just pure, almost animalistic instinct.
oh, he's just evil and he's mainly just evil and predatory. They don't really dig into why he does it, which
There's no
I feel
reason why
like
he
that's
picks
more.
out specific kids or anything, or why he does.
No,
Okay,
like anybody
interesting.
who just any kid who just randomly comes by his path is a victim of his,
Mm,
where he kidnaps them, and the death is a slow process.
I see.
I don't want to spoil too much because I do recommend you watch these films, but I feel like he's a villain that's more up your alley to where it's not too dug in too much. This guy gets no sympathy in these films. He doesn't deserve it.
Uh huh.
He's the worst piece of shit you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely
Um,
intend to watch those at some point.
I really
But
am.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I do really like you mentioned earlier about him being evil for the heck of it, saying that's not satisfying. And the thing is, for me, I do love both. I love the best of both worlds. I love villains who have a whole backstory and reasoning, while I also love villains who are simplistic and evil just to be evil. Like Aku is easily one of my
Yeah.
most favorite villains. He's awesome from Samurai Jack, my favorite character. Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls. You know, those characters are awesome and they're evil just for the heck of it. That's where it's good, where they are amazing characters despite this.
Well, I
The
think
reason
that.
why I.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
We may even be
The
saying the
reason.
same thing, so you go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, okay. No, you go first. It's okay.
Well, were you going to mention personality?
Uh, I don't think so, no. So
Oh,
you can add that on.
yeah. I'll just quickly say then, because like you say, they're similar to Michael in the sense that they're just pure evil. They do it because they just like doing it. But like a character like Aku or Bill Cipher, or even going to the more horror aspect, the what's it called, the Grabber, they've got like a personality to them. So it's not just like a well, not necessarily faceless, but a faceless and voiceless villain, right? Like they very much are evil, but there's also like characteristics to them and personality, which makes them a bit more appealing compared to like a silent monster.
So, yeah, I see that. So the reason why I point out, the reason why I love those characters despite them having the evil to be evil, and I do think their personalities are their main sell point. The reason why I pointed out to Michael specifically is that I do notice these small moments where he chooses not to go for the kill, even though he very easily can, and chooses to look at a corpse like inspecting a piece, because there is something there if you noticed these things, and if you notice these things, you know there's something there, and it's a more complicated type of character, especially considering all the different continuities where his motives alter.
Mm. Yeah, I see what you mean.
If a character is a lifeless, evil, straight up husk, fine, I can work with that. I like that. But if there's a character who seems like that, but then does like steps out of line and does something weird every now and then, I'm gonna pick up on those and I'll be like, wait, I actually want to know more about why he did these things instead of doing what he normally does.
Yeah. Well, like I said, that's where I think comes back to, in Michael's case, which can grow kind of annoying as a reason of him being like, oh, there's no reason. He's just pure evil and doing it because he's like an animal. He just wants to kill. And it's like, yeah, that's not that satisfying though. Especially like you said, like if he, like let's say there was a group of kids, right? And like he's obviously this killing machine, and say he's killing, or not even kids, it could be anybody, but let's say he's killing this group of people, and he got down to the last person, and then he just got up and walked away, but he didn't kill that person. That's kind of ungratifying, especially if the reason is just, oh well, he's just evil and does whatever he wants. It's like, yeah, but I feel like there's got to be something more to that. That's not very
Yeah.
satisfying of a reason, which is where it can grow frustrating with the concept of Michael Myers at times. And that's something I'm surprised. I mean, even the Blumhouse movies, sometimes I felt like that's where they struggled a bit at times, is to try and give rationality to Michael, like give reasons for why he does something or why he didn't do something. But it's a hard thing to do regardless. I'm not beating up those movies because they necessarily did a bad job. I'm just saying it's hard to do. So it makes sense why sometimes it feels off in those movies.
I don't think that Michael Myers is the best written slasher, but
Oh,
I think
definitely not.
he's written. I think he's the good kind of complicated. I think to where with all these different movies that we see him and how he acts, people can create
Yes.
their own like variations of why he does what he does. They can make their headcanons without it being too bizarre, and people can use those to tie up their own little bows and not have some director just spell out the reason for you. It's kind of like why people loved the original FNAF in the first place. That's Scott just giving out the reason straight up and just showing you tidbits and you piece it together. I think it's that kind of situation.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree.
So I think Michael Myers I think he's written good. I think he's written fine, not great, but he's
Yeah, yeah.
written good.
Well, simply you could write him as a force of nature, right? And when it with the concept like that, it's almost a scapegoat to justify any decision he makes, which can, be a bit problematic because it's like, well, that doesn't make sense, and I disagree with that, and I don't think that reason should be all that's good, so it can cause problems for sure.
Another thing I want to quote on is that his design is really good. He does really good on the design department. I really like how dark his tracksuit is, along with his with the hair of the mask, so that whenever you're in a dark room, you just see a pale white face staring back
Yep.
at you. And in certain shots,
You're right there.
I think a fly just flew in my mouth.
Ew. Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. That's yes.
Oh, I think I coughed it out. I don't know.
Well,
Maybe
so
I was. I don't know. I didn't see a fly. Ugh. So maybe it was something else. I don't know. I feel like that's what Ghostface and characters like Ghostface and Jason were trying to do, but Michael, he did it first. That's kind of like the main.
Well, I'm so happy you brought up the design too, because fun fact about that mask. So obviously, again, beaten dead horse at this point, saying the movie was very low budget. And that mask is so let me give you the history of the mask. They went into a Party City store to try, or just some Halloween store, looking for masks for the movie. And they found all these different things. Some were a bit too much, some were not good enough. And then they stumbled across this mask of Captain Kirk from Star Trek, the William Shatner, Captain Kirk. And they looked at it and they were like, this is kind of eerie because it doesn't really look like him. It's one of those like 70s masks based off a celebrity that just doesn't work. And they were like, well, we could probably make this work. So they bought the Shatner mask and then they spray painted it white and then obviously dyed the hair dark brown, and they cut the eye holes out more so that they're a bit more wide. And that's the Michael Myers mask. It's literally Captain Kirk from Star Trek. It's fucking hilarious.
Seriously. That's freaking goofy.
Yeah, but it just shows how low budget this movie was as well.
But yet somehow they were able to turn that simple mask into a mask for a whole new character, for a whole new iconic place for that mask to belong, and I think that's really wholesome.
Yeah, it is funny because it's like you said, it transcends what the mask was originally was now at this point. But it's also iconic because all the masks for almost all the movies except the Blumhouse movies have been different every time. The Halloween 2 mask is technically the original mask, but since the movie was made 3 years later, that mask started to like fade a bit and start to decay a bit, so it kind of loses the white painting, the white paint on it. But in Halloween's like 4, 5, and 6, and even a lot of the other sequels, it's always a different mask. For some reason, they just never could copy or stick with one mask. It's always different. But that this one and the one of the Blumhouse movies, because that one's probably the most accurate in terms of closeness to the original mask. It literally looks like a decayed version of the 1978 mask. And so it's iconic though.
Let's see here. But yeah, and with that trend being going on, I feel like characters like Ghostface tried to replicate that by just having the suit be completely black, and then the mask being the only thing you could relatively see in the dark.
Yeah. Well, it also spawned that like cliche of, well, this is also, you see it with creepypastas, and actually it came more from creepypastas, let's be honest, but give them a dark sweater, or not sweater, but a dark jacket with like a vibrant mask, and there's your serial killer. That became, like you said, very trendy to just give him like an iconic mask and then like a dark outfit.
It's such a weird combo, having his outfit look like a genuine ghost or horror,
Oh, you're talking
uh,
Ghostface.
like some like some
Okay.
analog. Oh, okay. I mentioned
Yeah,
Ghostface.
you did. But I thought we were talking generalities. That's why I brought that up.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was kind of like a weird concept. It's a cool concept. I just thought
Hmm.
it was weird that his costume kind of makes him look like a freaking specter or like a spirit or whatever. But his tools are a phone and a backhand knife.
Yeah, and a
He
voice changer.
calls people before he goes after to get them, and only to find out it was by two separate dudes.
Yeah. Well, it's just in terms of that design, that was the Ghostface like costume existed before that movie did, I believe, and they just bought the rights to use it for the movie, and that's why it became so iconic, is because those movies became really popular. Um, but you're well, it's like okay, maybe it's just me, but are you familiar with that like painting of like the people screaming in it? Like their faces are kind of elongated and like they're scream. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh wait, you mean like are their eyes like shot wide open and they have like they're holding their hands to their head and then their
Yeah,
mouth
yeah,
is
yeah.
yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I kind of visually
Here, I found
got
a
it.
picture of it. I could send it to you, and then I could show chat as well. Um, I believe this is it. Yes, this picture, iconic painting, very well known, even though I don't know what it's called. But this is something I always thought the Scream
Yeah,
costume was inspired
that's
by.
what it was. Oh yeah, I remember that. I think I
This
saw
painting.
that in a One Courage the Cowardly Dog episode when they were in a painting museum,
Hey,
right?
that fits because this is a very eerie image, so that totally fits with Courage the Cowardly Dog.
And then like Courage traveled through all the different paintings, and then one of them he just randomly goes into a painting with a bunch of dogs playing poker, and he just goes in and in one turn folds them all, and then they all get mad at him.
That's so clever. Yeah, we were spoiled with the cartoons we had back then.
That was great.
But I
And
always
then
thought,
now it's just a barren wasteland.
yeah,
Yeah. But
but
sorry, go on.
I always thought the Scream costume was based on this painting. Some like I don't know if that's true or how it's even connected. I mean, besides the mouth, obviously, because that's kind of what the Ghostface costume is. It's like a elongated mouth. Even the head shape is the shape of the mask. You know, it's got a dark cloak too. It just doesn't have a hood on it. I don't know if there's any connection whatsoever, but every time I see that costume, I think of this painting, which is funny because this painting's already creepy enough as it is. But I always thought the costume was inspired by it for Ghostface.
Yeah, you might want to take that head cannon up with Google, brother. You might want to do.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I could easily figure this answer out with a Google search, but ain't nobody got time for that.
So, but yeah, on the topic, back to Michael Myers, you brought up an interesting point where Michael is not a regular human, and yes, I'm here to contribute to that.
Okay.
Absolutely. I think that Michael Myers is inhuman, but after seeing a lot of these movies, he seems to be a superhuman with a set of rules. The first point, Michael Myers is able to not die from injuries that would normally be fatal. I think Michael Myers has a sort of healing factor. Something
Oh,
that's
for
not
sure.
crazy like Deadpool because he was blown up in one movie and just straight up died from that. So it's not that crazy. But maybe it's something Spider-Man level or Wolverine level where like it takes a while to heal the wound. It takes a while to heal the wound, and then he's able to still get up and walk away despite that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're definitely right, and it definitely. Well, we also haven't seen Michael be. Well, you're right. There's definitely a set of rules, and I guess with Halloween Ends, there's clearly a limit to how much he could take. Because, like, what is it? If you Laurie
Yeah, they completely
slices his
shred his whole
throat.
body.
Well, they slice his throat first, which like he doesn't come back initially from that. And I don't know if they destroyed the body just in case he. Regardless, they put it in a freaking car shredder. which
Oh
just,
yeah, no, yeah, the whole body's gone.
yeah,
In
it's
in a,
gone.
in a shredder.
It's over. Like that.
Straight up.
Like that movie. Like that. He, if they were to make more movies based on that timeline, unless they were to pull some like really ridiculous supernatural stuff, he's dead forever. Like Michael Myers is done in Halloween
Matt Pat
Ends.
Matt Pat did make a film theory video on how to
Okay.
kill Michael Myers, and he mentions that Michael does have like a healing factor or a supernatural ability to where he can heal basic injuries. So
Yeah.
killing him would be resulting in pure toxins throughout the body or pure assimilation. So he's not the easiest to take out. And the second ability I think he has is that his strength depends on the fresh blood he spills. I've noticed this in the Halloween Ends film.
Oh no, we lost him. It's over, boys.
Sorry, my throat keeps giving out for some reason, and there.
Hey, drink some water.
Ugh. Ugh.
Clench that
Yeah.
thirst.
That's quench, not clench.
Did I stutter?
Oh no. But the second ability I think he has is that Michael has a way to gain strength after spilling blood, and if he doesn't for a while, it kind of weakens him. I've seen that in Halloween Ends, I can kind of draw attention to this in the second film too, is that Michael was completely overpowered by this group of people. But because of the blood that was spilled, he was able to get back up and then take out that whole group of people by himself.
Mhm.
And then in Halloween Ends, where I think his name was Johnny. Really unfortunate what happened to that guy.
Oh,
Accidentally
yeah,
killed
yeah.
his kid. Who's
That kid had it
what's his
coming,
name?
man.
I would feel bad. I would feel dang.
Oh, I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. You're right. Like it was all pure accident. If anything, it was the kid's fault. But who the hell's gonna believe him? You know,
Corey.
Corey,
All right.
Corey, yeah,
So
Corey in the house. Yes.
so Michael thrived off of the end of that second movie, especially after killing Laurie's daughter. So in Halloween Ends, right? Corey just randomly finds Michael chilling in the sewers, and he's pathetic. He is barely able to stand, and not able to do a whole lot of much. He looks very decayed, and it hasn't even been that much time that has passed by. But when Corey like gives Michael a victim and he takes it, Michael slowly gets some of his strength back. Enough in order to have a fair fight against Laurie at the end of the film.
Uh-huh.
I find that detail pretty interesting.
It is interesting. It adds more to like what he is or what fuels him, because you're right, like he gets his butt kicked in Halloween Kills at the end, but then I saw a video. Oh shit, what the fuck. Shit, sorry. Fucking phone started going off.
Shit, what the fuck?
I don't know, the phone started going off, my bad. But he's getting his butt kicked, and then I saw a video where the guy mentioned the theory that maybe he's feeding essentially off the town's hate, or like the chaos, and like all that all those negative feelings, I guess, that his presence is bringing, right? And like what it's doing to the people of the town. Obviously we don't know if this is true, but it's like something that like it's implied to some extent, right? And so like it's never like fully confirmed. But that would make sense to your point, right? Where like when Corey finds him in Halloween Ends and he's very weak and like almost like dying kind of, and it was through Corey bringing him victims to terrorize and then kill that like fuels him back up. It's almost like he's absorbing the, just, I don't know, I don't want to say the energy, but like it's fueling him. These things are fueling him for some reason. Like this is what he feeds off of besides dogs.
It gives him like an outer strength, which kind of comes to mind. Do you think that Michael Myers could be someone influenced by the man downstairs? Do you think that Satan could be involved within Michael Myers' construction?
I think, well, I mean, I guess you could say that, especially considering any like he's the origin of evil, right? The guy 6 feet below.
Yes.
So any movie or show, whether trying to be religious or not, is in some way taking inspiration from the concept of religiously, like a religious concept of good and evil, or like Satan and whatnot, right? Um, well, I guess you could. I to some extent maybe. I don't know if it was like consciously they were taking inspiration from him, but like subconsciously maybe, just because of like evil. I don't think, even though Michael Myers is a force of nature and he's supposed to represent like evil can be anywhere or be anybody. Um, I don't think evil's like a necessarily like a force or like an energy that exists in the world. It's more of like it's people or it's things, right? It could be people, like evil people, or it could be evil events like war, for example, or violence. It's like, and that's kind of like what Michael represents to some extent. And so I wouldn't, maybe subconsciously they took inspiration from the man downstairs, but not consciously. Like they weren't like intending it specifically.
Mushy brings up a good point. I love the way that Michael and Corey trade their pasts with each other when they look each other in the eyes.
Yeah, well, I guess they could see each other's trauma, right? I don't know if it's necessarily their pasts, but it's definitely like they relate on a traumatic level to some extent with each other. And they get
To the
that just
point
from looking
where,
into each other's eyes.
yeah, legit to the point where Corey decides to be Michael's apprentice. And Michael accepts it until the very end when Michael tries to get his knife back from him, Corey, and then Michael just, yeah, I'm just gonna put an end to you, buddy. You served a good purpose.
Yeah.
As someone who hates the devil, I don't care if he's in media. I don't mind that at all, but it's not something I'm passionate for. So I'm not passionate about the idea of the devil like influencing Mike, but it's definitely a nice little side theory I came up with.
Uh-huh.
Because the devil, his goal is always to rack up more kills, get more people down
That's
here.
true. That's true.
So people say that children are made in the image of God, and as someone who still needs to read the Bible, I'm not too knowledgeable of this concept. But I think if that's the case, what if the devil contributed to the construction of Michael, to where Michael killed his sister for no reason, kills people for no reason, and his body can only function if he continues to kill, where he can get up from devastating injuries because he wants him to get out there and get killing, and his body can only survive if he continues the kill streak. I think that's a nice little idea I came up with. I don't know.
I mean, it's an interesting fan theory. I don't really, because there's never really any religious, or not even just religious, but anything. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's a fun concept, right? Like to think about, but I don't think when they write it or like even in universe it has anything to do with that. There is because if you recall, I mentioned how some cult gets involved pretty much later on in like the original sequels to the movie. They add this like cult that Michael Myers is influenced by or he works with, and it's like they're evil obviously, but I guess we could have already gotten that considering I had to call them a cult. But I don't remember if they necessarily are like, because there is an evil that possesses Michael according to those movies. That's like where they took the direction for the franchise initially. I don't know. I mean, again, fun theory, but I don't see too much evidence to necessarily, besides the fact that he is evil and he's doing evil deeds, which you could say any villain or monster in any movie is like could have a connection to old Lucifer that way, but I don't think there's any connections, like in universe connections.
It's just the only reason. It's the only thing that I could think of that made sense to how he could have gotten his powers, just to be a machine of killing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think my theory's absolute by any means. I haven't even watched all the films. It's just a something I came up with after looking at all these moments we've talked about. I was like, maybe that could be it. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, I think Mushy actually, he says it best in chat. Michael is a force of nature, but is unpredictable. At times, it seems Michael has a motive, like in Halloween Kills. He was going home, but then he does something unpredictable, like in Halloween Ends. And I think that is just generally the best way to describe his motives. Even, again, it's not the most satisfying because it's almost like a cop out answer for like any decision he makes, even if it seems irrational and doesn't make any sense.
Jazzy just said, "What is the plot for the first Halloween movie?"
Oh, Jazzy, you missed out. We've spent
you missed.
the whole
We
stream.
spent the whole stream talking about that. You have to click the rewind button, buddy. What
To
was
give
the
a
plot?
quick-
What? That was the whole stream.
Yeah, we pretty much
But,
went over the whole plot of the movie. But to give
There's
you a
5
quick
movies, right? There's 5
look
movies,
time
right?
zones. That's true. She's like in a completely different time. So me and you were like 2 hours apart. Me and her are like 5 to 10 hours apart. So like it makes sense. She's right. But to give you a quick summary, Jazzy, it's a slasher movie, and it's about a killer named Michael Myers who escapes the mental asylum he is staying at, and he returns to his hometown in Haddonfield, Illinois, where he starts stalking a group of teenagers and on Halloween night. And throughout the movie, it's him, messing with them, just kind of like stalking them, and then ultimately trying to kill them all. So it's a slasher flick, but it's not like any of the other slasher flicks where it's not even actually bloody. Like there's very little blood in this movie at all. It's not gory at all. It's not very graphic or gruesome. It's very reserved, which I appreciate. And the fact that it can be that scary while not being that gruesome and detailed is very impressive. Very, very impressive, because that's very difficult to do these days. A lot of people, you need to almost amp it up these days with the gore. But yeah, it's almost like a serial killer kind of movie, a scary serial killer movie. But if you want more details on the movie, yeah, you'll probably have to watch the stream from the beginning because we go into in-depth analysis on scenes and stuff like that earlier in the stream.
Magma, you should do the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Came out 4 years earlier, 1974, and in my opinion, more scary and disturbing. Chainsaw murder is a lot more gruesome. I can definitely
he's right. I haven't seen it myself. I'm a guy who definitely wants to see a lot of movies, but I always put off watching this stuff. That is definitely on the list, though. Maybe since it's the Halloween season, me and my brother could watch that movie, since we're into watching Halloween scary movies during the Halloween season. But yeah, that movie is far more terrifying. It was banned in so many countries initially because of how gruesome and violent, and the marketing was genius. For the marketing, they made it look like it was a real thing that happened. Like all the trailers and commercials were like news, like set up almost like this, as if it was news being told to the public. Like these were real events that happened. And obviously it's not true, but genius marketing, because it just added to the fear factor so much more.
And Leatherface is just a super strength guy with chainsaw and corpses for a mask.
Yeah, it's pretty much Michael Myers with a chainsaw, and he runs a bit. Well, jogs. He's pretty fat, so he can't really run that fast, but...
Yeah, he does straight up run. And funny thing is that they did add him into Fortnite 2 last year. Really? And to work around the mask, they just made his mask like a bag instead of like having it be like actual flesh.
Hold on, I gotta see this.
I DM'd it too.
Let me see this, because how do you... you could have easily just made the mask look...
It's just a bag.
I see what it's like a potato sack.
Yeah, it's a potato sack.
I mean, it works. I think you could have still had, because like I can tell the only detail. Here's chat. I didn't realize I didn't show chat. The only detail that's really missing would be all the stitches, because there's the better. For those who don't know, in the Texas Chainsaw movies, Leatherface's mask is supposed to... I don't think we see it, but it's very implied that that's real flesh. Like he cuts
Oh
up
yeah,
his
no,
victims.
it's absolutely stitched flesh pieces.
Yeah, it's stitched flesh pieces, and you could tell like you could even see the stitches on it, and that's because it's very half-assed, very put together, terrifying. This is the Fortnite one, which it looks like the mask. I'm just saying it looks like you could have used. I think you could still have it be the potato sack mask, but with a bunch of stitching everywhere, and then just say no, it's not flesh. It's those are just stitches. But whatever, to each their own. I guess that's fine if they're gonna put Terrifier in there, or not Terrifier, but the Grabber. But they don't want to have flesh mask. I guess that makes sense to me. They seem to pick and choose specific things that they'll allow in Fortnite. A flesh
It's
mask,
just
we don't want to show that. A guy,
yeah, they
a
had to
serial
alter
killer
it.
who's implied does things to children. Yeah, that's okay. We'll bring him in. Very weird standards. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. It's very weird, very weird.
They got to keep. They're fine with adding rated R characters. They just gotta make sure it's still PG in the game. They don't care if
No, that's
the
true. I get it.
kids. They don't care if the characters like lead the kids to watch rated R films, which is a fair thing to criticize the game for, but not in the actual game. Oh,
It
not
is
in the
a
actual
fair-
game.
Yeah, no, I mean
We gotta swap some things out.
plus I mean, I don't know, because would you say Fortnite is a kid's game? Because like I was gonna say like it's up to the parent, right? To if one of their kids sees like one of these characters in the game and they're like, oh, I want to go watch Texas Chainsaw now. That's up to the parent to say no. But if this is a kid's game and it has that stuff in it, that's kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know I don't play Fortnite, so I can't say whether it's a kid's game or not. Art style wise, it makes me think kid's game, but obviously that's not necessarily true. So since you're somebody who plays it, would you say
Yes.
it's a kid's game or not?
Here's my take. Also,
All right.
if you want to play something other than Dead by Daylight, I recommend Fortnite. It's free. It's very fun. It is very fun. It's a very fun game. But despite that, my take on it is that it started out as a kids game, absolutely, but it later became a game for everyone because they started adding in these characters from rated R properties. If I were to make a kids game, I would not collaborate with rated R properties because I would not like the idea at all to exposing rated R content to a game that is widely accessed by children. I think that adding in those kind of properties makes it to where it's just a game anybody can enjoy. It's mainly to apply. I think Epic Games is currently trying to apply over to the general audience, not really caring about.
It's definitely become more of a general audience because there's a lot of teens, adults, young adults. Like it's a game. It's a game. When you tell people like video game, it's probably what they think of.
Like what? Like think about it. What regular kid underage kid that hasn't seen Black Phone? What like how often would they go for the Black Phone skin over like
that is a good point.
Some.
Oh, did I lose him? Am I lagging?
It's. Oh. I don't know.
Oh, my stream is starting.
Can you? Uh-oh.
Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it was weird. Very, very weird. It went poo-poo mode for a second. My internet, I think.
But yeah, no, like if you release characters like the Black Phone or the Texas Chainsaw guy, you know that only like older teens or young adults or the older people who still play this game for some reason, only those people are going to really care about these outfits.
That is a good point, and you're absolutely right, because like you say, you have to pay for these skins. So if you're going through the shop and you see all these characters, especially if you're a kid, you're going to see that guy, not know him, skip him, and then you're going to come to, I don't know, Superman.
Who's this guy in the orange? Who's this animated dude in the orange jumpsuit, the big black spiky hair?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's this guy? And meanwhile, everybody dropping their cards, being like, "That's Goku!"
Right. Or it's like when somebody I saw a meme. It's so funny. It's old meme, but it's the kid seeing Master Chief in like real life. Somebody dressed up as him, and he goes, "Oh, it's that guy from Fortnite."
The guy from Fortnite,
and then
yeah.
like the comments are like, "Shut up! Oh, you stupid kid!" Like now,
oh well,
he's more synonymous with Fortnite than Halo.
Well, brace yourself. You did this to yourself. Hey, you familiar with Michael Myers, the guy from
Shut
Fortnite? Like
up.
Jason from Fortnite? Like Billy from
Shut your
Fortnite? like,
face. Shut
like
it.
Art the Clown from Fortnite?
Swallow
Like
another
Scooby-Doo from
swallow another fly. Don't
Fortnite?
talk to me about Michael Myers being from Fortnite.
But yeah, no. That's kind of my stance on it. Honestly, it's not really something to consider much because in the end of the day, a video game's a video game.
No, that's
But
true.
if you were
That's
to
true.
ask if you were to ask me, being like someone who hypothetically developed a game for children, if I were to collab with characters, even trying to PG and rate them down to not make it blatant rated R, I'd still say no because it's inappropriate exposure. The reason why I'm against people saying that characters like the Grabber should never have been added to the game because of his unique characteristic, it's like I stopped caring the moment they added characters like Michael and Art the Clown into the game.
No, I mean, yeah. Well, like you said, and I think even they notice it now. It's like ultimately a kid, since you have to buy all these skins, a kid's gonna see Michael Myers or Art the Clown or whoever, and they're gonna be like, maybe they look cool, but I'd rather be somebody I know, so I'm gonna gravitate towards a Power Ranger, or Luke Skywalker, or Superman, or whatever. So you're right. I mean, yeah. Look, well, because Jazzy brings up a good point. To be honest, Fortnite is supposed to be a 12-year-old game, and like you said, maybe
Yeah.
initially that was the case, but because of this microtransaction, like I imagine these kids, if they're gonna buy a skin, mommy and daddy are gonna pay for it, and so if mommy and daddy don't like the skin they want to buy, they're gonna tell them no. So ultimately, the kid's protected, and if they grow an interest and decide I want to go see who this Grabber guy is, and then they discover the black phone, maybe that's where they start to become that's where they start to grow up a bit, right? Because let's be honest, eventually kids are gonna find the stuff they want to see regardless. Like I remember sneakily watching South Park and Family Guy when I was a kid, right? And then quickly turning it off when mom or dad walked into the room. You know, the kids are gonna do that stuff regardless. They're gonna find a way regardless. So ultimately, you're right.
And
Though.
this
I don't
is
think it's
why
that big a deal.
And this is why little kids, they shouldn't have access to the internet, because if they do see these characters in the game shop, even if they don't want to buy them, they're going to go, "Oh, who's this guy?" They could just go along to their phones because parents are for some reason giving like young kids internet way too soon. They can just, all it takes is a YouTube search and a video, and they get traumatized.
Well, ultimately,
That's
that
all it
falls
takes.
onto the parent. We shouldn't police. Everybody else shouldn't be policed because a parent doesn't want to do their job. You know?
No, I see that. When I
Yeah.
become a parent, that's definitely something I want to think about,
Oh,
something I
yeah,
want to
same.
consider.
For
Video
sure.
games, that's fine. Just if my son ever does get caught playing like Fortnite or Marvel Rivals, stuff like that, I definitely tell them to turn off voice chat and regular chat because yeah, there's some awful people on there.
Wait, maybe?
There's some nasty folks.
Hold on a second. So I've seen some people are saying the stream's laggy, but
I've had this happen to me like multiple times.
it looks it looks normal to me. If you're lagging, everything's good on my end. So either you need
Everything is fine
if
on
you're
my
lagging,
end.
you probably should refresh your YouTube and then come back, and that might fix it. But that's just
Well,
for
no,
the
I'm
people
fine
who
on.
are- No, I know, but some people in chat are saying they're lagging, and so I'm saying it for those people because everything's
Yeah.
fine on my end, so it's not me. But Mushy Boy has a great point. Kids, if you're a parent and you want to get a kid for your a video game for your kid, the best game to get, Call of Duty, because that shit is childish at this point.
To be
It is
fair,
actually.
yeah.
He's right though, because I remember playing back in like when I used to play Call of Duty, and there were like toddlers playing that. I'm like, who the fuck? Why are your parents letting you play this game? You stupid squeaker. That doesn't make any sense. He's got a good point. Don't let your kids play Fortnite. Let them play Call of Duty.
Yeah. I do make sure that they would turn off things like voice chat and regular chat, because there's a lot of people who say a lot of vile things on a regular basis,
Yeah,
and
so
having
funny.
the kid be exposed to that, it's not good at all. Imagine if the kid doesn't tell me about it, and then he goes to school the next day, and then they say all these words, and then they get in trouble, and then I'm gonna have to answer for it. And I'm just like, well,
that's true.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean you're right, especially with how much technology and the internet has grown. Our generation, when we start having kids, we should definitely think about how much access we'll let them have, if any at all, up until a certain point. Because I was thinking, me personally, my parents, I kind of like what my parents did. They gave me an iPod at like 10 years old. It was restricted, there were certain things I couldn't access regardless on it because of the parental settings. But
Did you just say iPod? Did you mean
yeah,
iPad? But you said
no, an
iPod?
iPod Touch.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So
I'm
you like the
old, dude.
music.
But
Yeah,
so I
okay.
had that, and depending on how well I maintained it, how like if I grew into one of those brats that with that has this iPod or whatever, then they wouldn't do this. But I proved myself worthy of taking care of the iPod. I was also maintaining, good grades and stuff still. And then when I turned 13, they trusted me with a phone. And then that, it's a trust thing between the parent. You got to, if the parent don't trust you, or if you're an untrustworthy child, you don't deserve it, right? And that's when you probably should get it later versus like sooner. That's my thought process. Is like, if I can trust my kid, I'll get them those things sooner. But if they're a little untrustworthy or a little irresponsible, then it's like, well, maybe I'll hold off on getting you something like a phone till like I can trust you a bit, or till you need it, like if you're in high school. Chazzy, I used to have an iPod. Does that make me old? How well? What kind of iPod are we talking? iPod Touch?
Yeah,
If you
like
had like
with
an
the
iPod
like
Nano, you may be old.
hundreds of iPod models. I remember my brother having one too when I was still trying to get through high school. It's right here. By the way, this is the Huggy Wuggy outfit in the first image. I love
Yeah, I
it.
saw that.
It's like a shit-eating grin.
Well, that's the character.
This is the face of the first image. This is the face of a dog that like peed on the carpet and looks up to you and means like, I know I messed up, but I know you're gonna clean it up anyways. So it's that kind of face. Let me see here. No, I don't want to be old. It happens to everybody. Get over it. So Bennett Foddy style. So but yeah, on to the after that topic. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far. I think
You didn't
pretty much. I think we're done with the Halloween topic for now because we
think
pretty much went over
think we've
everything.
emptied out. Think we've emptied out the stream
Yeah, we've
combo.
gone through it all. Let's see. There was something I wanted to mention. It was off topic, obviously. Of like at the end of when we were done talking about Halloween. Well, I guess since we both have tackled FNAF content, what are your thoughts on the new movie coming out?
The new FNAF 2 movie. I am
Yeah.
very excited because you and I have the opposite opinion on the FNAF movie. You think it's unironically cool. You think
Oh no,
it's
I think it's
ironically
ironically
you,
cool.
yeah. I was correcting myself. You think it's ironically cool. I think it's unironically cool. The things you didn't really like, I personally really liked them. There were some moments that I did find pretty. There were some moments I did find some scare factor, and while some moments were goofy, I let it. I just don't focus on it too much. I just let it slide. And
Mhm.
I do like the whole spiritual sequences. And I am extremely so I loved the first movie. I don't know how I would have rewrote it, and I don't think I would have. I think the
Mhm.
movie turned out in a way where I'm satisfied and I don't really have anything to complain about personally. If I were to write this movie, some things would be different because the story isn't what I had in mind, but I grew to love and accept the story for the way it is. It is trying to be its own thing, after all, while just tying back to a bunch of stuff. I really loved all the references. The Dream Theory book, Sparky is an official animatronic now. That's really cool. And I thought that William Afton was done really well by Matthew Lillard. There were some parts where obviously, yeah, I laugh at. There are like I don't see like him putting up the helmet going, "I always come back." Like that's goofy. But I was going like, "Woo!" because it's like that was such a cool time to use that line at the same time. So I'm looking at FNAF 2, right?
Yeah, that's what
And
we were
FNAF
discussing
2,
that one.
FNAF 2 looks really interesting. I think that because Scott is writing these films, I don't think it's going to disappoint because the first one didn't. But it's going to be. I have mixed expectations. I think all the animatronics so far look freaking amazing. The Muppet Shop did such an amazing job on all the characters. They look so insanely good.
Yeah, you've heard about
But
the voice cast, right? For
yeah,
the
yeah, I heard
animatronics.
about that. Yeah. So the voice casting is a little odd. Like now I'm filled
I
with
love it. I
videos
think
of
it's
Toy
great.
Bonnie doing Matt Pat clips. Matt Pat is voicing Toy Bonnie.
I
That
think
is
that's kind of cool
insane.
though. That's really like Kellen Goff as Toy Freddy makes sense. That's really cool that he's gonna be in a feature film now. He's been Freddy for so long, and then like you said, Matt Pat. I could see it. I could see that working because Matt Pat's pretty talented, and I think his voice. Obviously, I'm sure they're gonna put some effects on it and stuff, but I think that's kind of perfect. My most interesting one is Megan Fox
Megan
as Toy
Fox is
Chica.
Toy Chica. Yeah. I saw
That
so many Transformers artworks because of Megan Fox in the first Transformers.
I'm yeah. Well, we know Toy Cheek is gonna do for young boys what Megan Fox did for boys in the 2007 movie, so it just makes it's gonna be a
Like
repeat of
they
history.
they redrew Toy Chica as in
As
certain scenes from the
yeah,
Transformers film, like checking on the car bumper.
yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah.
knew
With
what I was
Sam's checking
talking
her out. Yeah,
about. Yeah, and they did an artwork of Toy Chica and Bumblebee doing the peace signs. Like that was freaking
that's
adorable.
so funny.
With the
It's
caption
so
of like
out there, but I love it. Maybe it's just because of my how I'm viewing these movies, but like that's
it's
hilarious
it's
to me.
It's the same thing with all of the Shaggy memes that came out. It's the exact same
Yeah.
thing where Matthew Lillard was announced to be William Afton, and then people made all the Shaggy jokes online of Shaggy being the purple guy. This is the exact same thing. And the
Yeah, absolutely.
Toy Freddy is
We all became men when we saw Megan Fox in Transformers. So true. If you were thinking you were going to be gay and you watched that movie, you knew you were wrong. It's like, no, I think I know exactly who I am.
see right here. But yeah, I do think the FNAF 2 movie is going to be good. I think that Scott is going to put it in a way where I enjoy the film. And even if I find one or two problems with it, I'm not going to have it affect my overall review that much. You just found it in a way where you personally wouldn't like it, and
Oh no,
I
I
can
loved it.
understand
I just don't think it's a good movie. Like
that.
if we really analyze it, like obviously with this movie, we didn't like with Halloween, for example, we didn't get too much into the technical stuff or like whatnot. Well, actually, no, we did. I don't know why I said that, but anyways, like I think writing wise, especially dialogue was the worst part of the movie for me. I think there were some dialogue choices that were just ridiculous and like over the top, like when when Vanessa threatens to shoot Mike. Okay, well, hold on. There's more to it than just that. So she threatens to shoot Mike right after Abby gets hurt, but it's her fault. Abby got hurt because Abby wanted to play with the animatronics and build a fort. And Mike was like, I don't know, it doesn't sound like a good idea. And then Vanessa goes, I think it's time to build a fort. And then Abby gets hurt later on. And then she threatens to shoot Michael if he brings her here. He gets like, hold your roll, bitch. You're the reason she got hurt. Okay. It's not his fault. Like it's some bad dialogue choices. And then I think some character motivations were bad or didn't make sense at all.
I get that. So we both enjoy it, but
Oh hell yeah.
you just think it's not a good movie. Well, I think it is
I
a good
like it for
movie.
the opposite reasons. I think it's ironically wait, no, unironically good. Like you said, you think it's ironic. No, fuck. Unironically is me. You are ironically, right? Or no, is it I'm ironically. You're unironically.
Yeah.
Tired.
You have a problem with these dialogue bits, and I think a lot of them are good, but at other times I just think they're all right. But yeah, I can see where you're coming from. That's the thing. That's what people on the internet. That's how we should interact with each other. There are some people who hate a movie, some people who like a movie, and both people should just talk about their individual reasoning and just respect each other's reasoning and not like go over the hands. They go like, no, my opinion's objectively right because I
Well,
say it is. What I say is the truth. What I say is the truth.
it's interesting. I mean, you could definitely like I don't know. I think there are things as like objectively good movies and objectively bad movies. That doesn't mean you can't like a bad movie. You know, I think Batman v Superman is a terrible movie, but I love watching it. It's just really fun. Um,
I have the exact same opinion. As much as I love Batman v Superman, I'm not going to deny that that movie is.
yeah, I'm not gonna defend it with my
Oh,
life.
oh
I could
gosh.
tear that thing to shreds in like 5 hours if I needed to. But you know, I think I do genuinely think it's a bad movie, but that doesn't mean like I think it's like it's not like bad to where like it should like I think this is a disgrace of a film or whatever, you know. It's like it's fun still. It's fine. I get why people like it. It is fun. It did its job. It did the reason they made it that way because they wanted it to be fun, and so I respect that, you know. But I'm not going to like defend I'm not going to say it's a good movie. It has a lot of problems. Is my point.
Yeah, okay, I see that. I say it's a good movie, and I didn't see much problems with it on my end,
And that's fair.
and that's fair, and that's okay. It's
It's
a
fine.
okay.
It's fine, but you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
Based response. I do love the trailer.
Oh yeah,
I
it's
can
fun. It
imagine
looks
how
good.
creepy it would be if it's late at night and then your random radio just calls out your name saying "Come
Yeah.
find us." That
Well, like
is
all
in
those,
general stance a creepy concept.
even those shots with like, I don't know if they're flashbacks or if they're gonna be like, I don't know what they're gonna be, but like, there's a lot of scenes of William, right? But it's clearly not the first movie William. Like the suit looks, the Yellow Rabbit suit looks clean. It's pristine. It's not like decaying and torn in places like in the first movie. That which is why I keep saying I think it's flashbacks, or maybe it's dream theory, like Michael's dreaming of like these past events that the kids are showing him. But
Yeah,
there's a
that
lot of
makes
like
me
shots of him
wonder.
like looking creepy, and it looks so good. It's actually it genuinely is kind of eerie. Like it's cool to see it. It's actually creepy.
Yeah, that really does make me wonder that like FNAF 2 takes place before FNAF 1, yet this FNAF 2 movie takes place after the first one.
Well, it's a sequel, but who knows? Maybe there'll be elements like prequel elements to it, like flashbacks or like I don't know. There's the dream theory still, so I could totally see like the kids from the first movie, the spirit those like the murdered ones. I could see them like showing Mike events from like the original restaurant, you know, of like them getting maybe being lured by William and then getting killed. I don't know. This is all speculative, but there seems to be a lot of shots of the yellow rabbit and the suit isn't broken or torn. So it implies that they're like flashbacks to some extent.
We're gonna see like the actual abductions, which I think is
Yeah.
really cool.
That could be cool. And
Uh,
again, like you said, there's a way you could do it where you don't have to like show the brutal aspects of it, but imply it heavily, like with the like well again like with the dog in Halloween or any other movie or whatever, you know, or like uh Grabber in the Black Phone movies. Because
also,
I doubt they'll show like kids actually being killed, but like they'll probably
well,
imply
yeah, it's PG. Like they
PG.
respectfully said, there's not going to be a rated R version. We like the rating the way it is, and I'm really happy they managed to work around that by still adding some gory moments, like the girl being chopped in half and actually seeing her legs hit the ground. I didn't think we were going to go that far, so that caught me by surprise, and I loved it. See right here. By the way, did Dead by Daylight finish re-downloading? There's also
Oh,
this cool skin coming up for October. It's called
uh-huh.
Blighted Springtrap.
Oh really? They are doing a blighted version.
Yeah. He looks
Yeah.
insane. He looks like a piranha, in like a more withered version of the Springtrap costume. I like
I
that
was
idea.
they only do blighted skins for characters if they have a really good relationship with the owners of the IP. So that's cool to see that
Hey.
they got a good relationship with the FNAF crew.
And there is gonna be a second wave that's rumored to be around. There was gonna be a second character to come to the game, and people are saying that it's gonna be the Mimic, which I am extremely excited. I love the Mimic. And honestly, dude, when you play Secret of the Mimic, I have faith that your opinions on him will change. Because the Mimic story in his game is actually really good.
We shall see. But I have
'Cause
not been downloading the game because I'm streaming, so I didn't want to like put that pressure on my computer. I'll download it after the stream though, but I don't know if I'll be able to play today. Maybe later though.
Yeah, because the thing is, I remember us talking about Secret of the Mimic before it was close to releasing. You saw your trailer and you thought it was okay, but when I asked, "Are you gonna play it?" you still said you were like, "Yes, of course." You were talking about all these separate things, right? So when I said, "Yo, Secret of the Mimic came out, it's peak on your stream," you're like, "I don't care, I'm not gonna play it." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
I did lose interest as time went on. And nothing in particular drove me away from it. I just like as time went on, I'm like, man, I really don't care.
Yeah. But yeah, the reason
Maybe I'll give it a
why.
try. I'll wait till it goes on
Yeah.
sale or something, and then maybe buy it.
Oh no, I'll gift it to you. The
Oh no,
reason why
you don't have to do
the
that.
reason why, and here is the reason why. The thing is, we've talked, and I really enjoy your personality and the way your opinions on these games. So I am genuinely curious enough to know your opinion on this game to the point where I would be down to gift you the game. I make a good enough money from my job, so it's no issue on my end.
I
I
mean,
just really
money's
want
not
to
an
know.
issue either. I don't know. I like to, if I'm gonna get it, especially since the game I'm not that excited for, I'd like to get it at a discount, which is why. But I don't. I'll get it. Don't worry about gifting it. I'll get the game. Trust me. And then sometime maybe I'll bring you back on, and you could like watch over me as I play it, like a
I
creep.
would live for that. I would love to co-host you playing it, dude.
Yeah. So we can do
Absolutely.
something like that in the future.
I would love that. And but still, you should still be expecting still be expecting a gift on the notification bell. I'm sorry, man. If there's a good opportunity where I want to do it, I will do it. And you will see the notification. See
I'll have to
here.
buy the game before you send it to me then.
Is that going to be the race? That's going to be the race. That's going to be the
that'll
race.
be
Who
the
can make
race.
it there first?
I hope it goes on sale.
All right, man.
All right, yeah, but I think
Yeah.
we've been streaming for about 3.5 hours now. I think that's a good time to call it a quits. Your birthday's coming up. Yes, it is, Jazzy. Thank you for remembering. But that doesn't.
When's your birthday?
November 9th.
Oh,
But
my
that doesn't
birthday
mean
is.
you have to get me anything. Don't take that as an excuse
That
to gift
means
me something.
but on December 31st is my birthday. So when
You're the
I got
31st,
to you late and you got to me late. So we
But
evened
we
each
got
other
to each
out.
other early before this year ends.
Yes, there we go. So
it works out.
happy advanced birthday in case we don't meet up before November 9th. There we go. Happy advanced birthday.
Oh, thank
There
you.
you go.
Alrighty, but yeah, so I'll probably be calling it there because I need to get some food as well. We've been streaming for
All right,
quite a
you
while.
gonna go get some food? All right then.
Yes. And thank you everybody for coming out and hearing our ramblings. Hopefully, if you weren't a fan or if you hadn't seen the movie Halloween yet, hopefully we inspired you to watch it. It's actually really good. It's a very entertaining movie. My favorite. My favorite horror movie, but not the best horror movie, if that makes sense. I think that goes to Hereditary still. But yeah, so thank you all for coming. Oh, yes, also. Oh my god, I completely forgot. Hold on. You know what? I'll put it in the Discord, or not Discord, in the YouTube chat as well. I forgot to put a link to your YouTube channel. Sorry, Louisel. Well, let
Oh,
me
you
do
don't
that.
have to. You don't have to do that, man.
Oh
It's not a
no,
big
I'm gonna
deal.
do that. So you're not stopping me.
I did like when we were streaming. I did send the link to your stream on my announcement page. Said, "Hey, this was something
I
going
thought
on
I
in
saw
his."
some Murder Drones profile pictures in my chat for a second, so that makes sense now. The murder.
I started the infestation. Yes, it was me.
All right, let me put it in chat, and then I'll also put it in the description for those who wish to find your stuff. Why is my
All right
chat not
then.
loading? What the shit? Maybe I should go back to Microsoft or go back to Google Chrome. Microsoft Edge is causing me a lot of problems.
Microsoft Edge. It's crazy. But yeah, I'll be looking forward to whenever you're up on Dead by Daylight. Again, when
Yeah,
I
I'll
got this
download
glitch
that.
trap skin locked and loaded.
I'll download
Um,
that today, and then I'll let you know when it's done, and we could schedule a time.
Personally, I do love. I prefer the glitch trap skin. He has an amazing pose, and
Yeah,
they did an
it
amazing
is
job
really
on the
creepy.
outfit.
It looks
I
good.
do love. I do love that version of the character, and also I'm not the biggest fan of the movie version because I like that his human face is at there, but I wish there was a style where he had the mask.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of disappointed when I saw it was gonna be the his like Matthew Lillard's head. You know, I was really hoping to get the full Spring Bonnie or Yellow Rabbit rather, the whole full Yellow Rabbit costume. So, but I mean, it's still cool. I guess it just doesn't add any scare factor to it. It's kind of funny.
Kind of goofy, just seeing a like an old man just roar like yelling at you. Ah.
Well, I saw. I think it was a Mushy Boy who said it. It's the old white guy jump scare.
All right, but hey, you gotta go get your food, and I got
Yes, I gotta dip
something to
out.
deal with. So hey, thank you for inviting me, man. It was very fun. I'm glad we could do this long 3 hour ramble.
So slow, Magmos SMH. Shut up, Jazzy. Don't make fun of me. I'm an old man. But yes, it was good having you on. I appreciate you coming on to talk with me about this movie. It made it. I was gonna do it alone at first, but I'm like, it'd be much better to talk to somebody else about the movie. I like discussing movies more so than just like me talking about it by myself. You know. I mean, I guess I'd have chat, but it's different than like having somebody to talk like directly to you. So I appreciate you coming along.
Hey, thank you for inviting me. I kind of saw myself on your B list, so I'm surprised I was the one you invited.
Oh, it's okay. I don't have any friends. No, I'm just kidding.
You have a whole group. You have like 4 people I've seen come on your channel before. Let's
Yeah.
see right here.
Alrighty. But thank you all again for tuning in, and we will talk to you all later. Goodbye, everybody.